boys and girls, good morning, welcome in, hope we're all well. Loads of things going on today, bunch of stuff going on today. How are we all doing? We have a bit of Plunderstorm. We have, I believe it's Super Squirt Day, if everything has gone to plan at least. It should be Super Squirt Day. There was a new PTR build as well yesterday, so we've got huge amounts of things to look at. I'm tried my best to be on time today. Punctuality is key. But what is not punctual is my coffee. It's taking its sweet ass time, and I need coffee this morning. Oh boy. Amulet of Earthen Craftsmanship. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Literally log on and somebody's after stuff. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what order we're going to do things. We played Plunderstorm all day yesterday, and it was mighty fun. We got a few wins under our belt yesterday. We got a few wins under our belt, a couple of solo wins. Drizzling Rose joined us yesterday evening for some duos, and we kind of cheesed a win. Kind of cheesed a win out of it, which was good fun. So today, let's check the calendar. It is Pet Battle Week, right? Let's just double check all of this. Where's it gone? Where's the, Sign of the Critter, bonus event, Pet Battles. Pet Battle experience increased by 100%. Whilst additionally, if we go check out the garrison, we should have Squirt in there. So we'll have a look at that. Let me just get this order filled for this fella first. 4 bags. We'll take that this time in the expansion for sure. We take those. We even procced a resource proc on some of the marble stone. We got 8 marble stone for free. What's 8 times 4? 8, 16, 24, 32. Another 300 odd gold on that one. Nice. 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 What do you want? Enchanting. Looking for Enchanter. Yeah, we will ignore that one. Right, radio. Should we go check the garrison? In fact, let's check that we've got the right team. Super Squirt team. Should we just go test it? Let's just go test it. Are we going to need anything else? Am I going to need pet battle bandages and stuff like that first? We might do, mightn't we? Let's go check the war bank. It's been a while since I've done this. Super Squirt happens like twice a year. And so every time it rolls around, I've kind of forgotten what's going on. That's my main bank. There's no pet battle bandages in there. There's me pet battle bandages. Not sure I'll need them. Doesn't Horde have a stable master right next to it? Don't know. That's a very good question, actually. That's a very good question. I probably haven't done this as Horde. Is it best to do it on Horde or is it best to do it on Alliance? Does it matter? Is there a meta in that regards? Don't know. Let's go check the garrison. Let's have a look. I don't know where it. There's a stable master there. Where is the pet battle thing in Horde? I don't even know. Quartermaster. You can usually spot a pet battle thing miles away. What's this? Dual crafting work orders. I haven't been properly back into my garrison for a while. Sorceress Air, Sorceress Earth, and Talidite crystals. Check me out. Squirt! There she is. So it is officially Super Squirt Day. Right, let's have a little look at this then. Let's have a little looky. Highlight Squirt, load the Squirt team. This should have a level up pet in it, and then an enchanted broom and a bone shard, apparently. Is that the best play? I'm going to assume it is, because I haven't changed it. If you talk to the quest giver, there should be the option to heal them.
Talk to me.
Oh yeah, I'd like to heal and revive my battle pets. Nice. There is indeed. There is indeed. So, in theory, we should be able to squirt away. I think this is scripted as well, meaning that I just mash the spacebar. My poor spacebar is going to get an absolute blasting today. It's probably one of those that should be, I should put it on mouse wheel or something, shouldn't I? Make it easier. So if I remember correctly, 2 battles should end up being enough experience to get a level 1 pet all the way to 25 in this combo. Bone Shard just basically chomps through all of them before dying by the looks of things. Enchanted Broom comes in, gives it a tickle. Slapped. Deebs comes in, also gets the slap in. Boom. And Mini Tyrion comes in and also gets the slap in, and boom, 13,000 experience. Now, there is another level to this, isn't there? There is another level to this. I nearly released my pets then. I hate the fact that the release button is right next to the dismiss button. I swear Blizzard does that deliberately. I'm convinced they do that deliberately. Now, there's another add-on. There's another add-on that takes this one step further. And I can't remember what it's called. Is it Pet Tracker Battle? That doesn't sound right. It had a weird name. Ultra Squirt or something. Curseforge. It's called Ultra Squirt or something. Another thing that you got to be kind of careful Googling. Retail. I think it. Ultra Squirt. Here we go. To further simplify the process of using Battle Pet script and rematch to level your pets with Squirt in the garrison, using the repeatable pet battles from the Legion World Quest. To enable the function, just use the console command /ultra. The space key is assigned by default to run the add-on functions once the window is open. To return to normal, simply close the window. Be sure to have rematch set up with the team ready for power leveling. Battle pets with Squirt, and make sure that the team is loaded. You can find this info over here. We'll load that in another window, because just to double check, or at least link it to you guys. Any pets you'd like to level with the rematch queue, make sure the pet battle pet script is set with the appropriate script. We've done that as well. Squirt is set as the intended NPC to battle by default. To change this, target the desired NPC and click the crosshairs button. Okay, sure. At this point, just get in. Go, gadget, go. Retail, update everything because I haven't updated add-ons in ages. Watch about 12 things break now. Thinking about it, thinking. Craft sim updates. Custom reagent bag value. Oh, clever. Right, is the add-on on? What is it called? Ultra Squirt? Ultra Squirt, there we go. Reload again. What's that reloads? Coffee! Young Crocs, welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Welcome in. Welcomes. Right, so we should now be able to go. Is there a button for Ultra Squirt? What does it say? /ultra. /ultra. Boom, here we go. Ultra Squirter. Massive squirtage action. Safari hat. We don't own the Safari hat. Actually tragic that we don't own the Safari hat, but we should own the Safari hat. Lesser pet treats. Battle pet experience gained is increased by 25% for an hour. I don't think we need any of this business during Super Squirt, do we? Isn't that kind of the point? Dark Moon top hat, experience and rep gains.
Hey there.
In fact, why would we use lessers when we can use... In fact, I think the point is we only need to use lessers. I don't even know. Let's buy some sausages.
You be careful, man.
Right, it should mean that I can just now press the space bar and shit just happens. If everything has gone to plan, that is. And this, for the most part, will be our life today. Squirting all over the shop. Question is does it work effectively? God only wish there was some legal way to do like automated shit in the game for purposes exactly like this, whereas it would be really, really nice to just have an auto hotkey running on the spacebar, boom, boom, boom. But there is a theory that Blizzard can track that sort of shit, so I don't recommend. Now, also, the advantage of this little Ultra Squirt business is that what should happen... Can this go up here, actually? What should happen is that once the match is over, it should also then target the NPC to the side of us and go and say hi and heal the pets. And then come back, target Squirt, and do the whole thing again. So it is literally just spacebar simulator from this point on. There we go, boom. Did he hit 25? Did it say what level he hit? Yeah, the Stinger's now level 25. Now you see it targets you, talks to you.
Bye-bye now.
Okay, I'm not sure it was meant to pick up all the quests, to be fair. There we go, heal pets. Pets are healed, target Squirt, and we go again. Magic! Magic! Now we've got a new pet on board. Is this a fresh level 1? Fresh level 1. Ombre. Fresh level 1. Let's see if it all now takes only the two battles to get to 25. If so, it's set up right. There's a strong theory as well. I should be doing this on level 70 characters or even low level characters, but to level them up. But you do need a level 3 garrison to do this, which is something I'm not going to have easily on alts. Bone Shard comes back to life. Bone Shard does Bone Shard things. Seems to be working okay. Do you have the safari hat toy? I don't know. It's something I really should get, to be honest. Gives the extra 10%. I'm not sure it's needed. I don't even think for Super Squirt you need the sausages either. I'm going to try now. We've hit level 17. We've not got sausage buff up. We've not got safari hat. We've just got pet battle bonus event. And squirt for like just quickness. 2 matches should be what it takes for them as far as I remember. Yeah, I feel like such a noob every time I try and do this because like I said, it happens twice a year. Meaning I come back to it, and I don't even do it every time it's up. Quite often it's either like a random ass day, or I just completely forget. Goes from 1 to 17 to 25. Let's see. Let's see if this little fella hits 25 this time. Right, puzzle's down. Deeb's next. Boom. Right, go on, hit 25, you would. Or 24 even. 24 is the max level, isn't it? Is 24 the max level? Shit, now, oh my god. Now I instantly feel really dumb. No, 25 is the max level. How did he only hit 24? He was missing a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. That means we do need sausages. You either need sausages or you need the hat. You need one or the other. Sausages or hat. If you don't have the hat, you need sausages. That's set to auto use a sausage. Well, we've used a sausage now. That sausage will give the extra 25%, which should just get it done. Okay. Sausages, squirts. Blizzard really needs to change the name for these events. Yeah, super squirting. You got to pop a sausage and do some super squirting. I know how it sounds. You got to protect your head, put your hat on. You got to pop your sausage, and then you got to go super squirt in your garrison. Oh, all the time I could be doing blacksmithing orders apparently. +18 stream, clearly. Put on your safari hat, go into the bush. That's it. That's it. Stay protected. Stay protected in the bush. Right. Well, that's definitely 25 now.
How you doing, man?
Right. So yeah, there's how do you see how many is in your leveling queue? 749 pets in my leveling queue. Oh dear. Oh dear. Fill the leveling queue with one of each version of a pet that can be from the filtered pet list that you don't have at level 25 copy. Oh. Maybe my queue's not even full. This will add 166 pets to the queue. Sheesh. Sure. 915 pets. Oh, we're going forwards, not backwards. Is the... Oh, okay. Well, just do it. Just do it. Chalida, how are we doing? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. It happens so infrequently that... But I still think I should probably put a little bit of a guide together for this. Even if it's only for my own sanity to check back on it every time it turns up. That said, I'm quite sure there's a couple of good ones out there already. But I'm exactly the same as most other people when it comes to YouTube. If I search YouTube for something that's like information based, especially in a video game, even if there's like 5 videos that all say the same thing, I will look at 2 things. I'll look at the views on the video, and I'll look at the date in which that video was published. And I'm usually going to pick the video that was published more recently, even over one that's got more views. I don't know if other people do the same, because it's clearly a psychology thing. But this is kind of why every year student will do like a Hallows Eve farming guide. Because, you know, even though he's got 5 of them on his channel already, the newer one will, you know, probably be the one that a lot of people would click on. Yeah, new keyboard might be in order after this. Be a good excuse for a new toy, though, wouldn't it? Though I gotta save my toy spending pennies for when the new graphics cards come out later this month. What's the date actually? It's the 16th. They might come out next week, you know. It might be next week. Now Elgato pedal. That would actually be a play right now, you know. It really would. I don't own one, unfortunately. I'm a big fan of the Elgato lineup, though. Their Stream Deck is like an absolute must-have for like any streamer, really. In fact, so much so that I'm tempted to get the XL one. Or, more importantly, I'm actually... I'm sure you can run multiple Stream Decks off a single PC. I'm sure that's possible. I doubt it's limited to just one. I want the one that's got the little screen and the little knobs on it. That'd be really good for like volume control and stuff while streaming. Turn the music up, turn the music down, you know, mute. Like, it's just easier. I have all of this set up on buttons on my Stream Deck right now, but sometimes it's better to have like... Yes, I nearly said it. It's better to have a knob to play with sometimes. Sometimes. But their webcams are actually not bad as well, believe it or not, for like as webcams go. A friend of mine has the Elgato webcam, the 4K one, I think it is, and says it's pretty good. Right, did that go? Yeah, 25. Okay, so now it's a...
Talk to me.
It's a 2 for situation. Chicken. Anaconda chicken. Okay. Has anybody timed this? I should probably time how long it takes to do a single battle and how long it takes to level a single pet. With 900 plus in the list, we could be here literally all day. So let's say it takes a minute per battle, and it takes 2 battles. Let's say it uses... Oh, Xfu has a timer? Okay. Not sure if the strat I use is the fastest, but I win in like 10 rounds. Let me look up the strat I'm using. If we're doing tools, where's it going to be? Squirt, diddler diddler duh. Recommended strategy. Ravenous Prideling and Widget the Departed. Oh, well, I'm definitely not using that one. That's interesting. Fight duration 1 minute 10. Fast, reliable, safe for level 1 pets. Today, January 16th. Team NA don't get a Super Squirt Day until March. But then you get another one in April. How the hell do you get 2 so quickly together? EU don't get another one until June, but then we get one at the end of July. This is the recommended one. This isn't the one I'm using, though. Is there a reason why I'm not using this one? 10 to 11 rounds. I'm using Bone Shard Enchanted Broom. 1 minute 21. Okay, so my team takes 10 seconds more per battle. One minute 20. 1 minute 20. Everybody's competing on the timer. I'll click browse all alternatives for a drop down. Oh, okay, nice. Oh, 120, 120, 120, 112, 114, 106. That's fast as fuck, yo. 125, 114, 58 seconds, the fastest. Is the cheetah symbol the fastest? Probably. What's the cheetah one then? Is it using some like weird and wacky pets that we don't have? Requires a sun glow cobra, a mechanical Pandarian dragonling. Oh, you've got to have one with over 301 speed and over 274 attack. Takes only 9 rounds, 58 seconds. Do we do this one? I mean, it'd be crazy to not give it a go, right? That's why it's worth collecting the breeds. Yeah, clearly. Right, let's get this one out of the way. Then we'll have a look. power speed breed. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Let's, where's my, what's it called? Sunglow Cobra. Apparently mine is an SS breed. You need a PS breed, a power speed breed. Yeah, okay. Maybe that's why we're not using that one then. We got the pet though. We got the pet. He's fast as fuck, yo, but I think we'll just stick with what we got. We'll stick with what we got for one simple reason. It works. Any breed, no messing, 121 per round. Easy business, right? 11 rounds, job done. It just works. Oh my god, Streamlabs relax. Holy. Oh, I see all the Streamlabs stuff twice because it spams it in YouTube and Twitch. It just works. Yeah, a little bit. Suddenly Todd Howard it. Oh no, this team does me absolutely fine. I was just seeing if there was an ever so slightly quicker one. There is a quicker one, but we got to do shenanigans. So, what did it say? 121 per battle, and it takes 2 battles. So, maths time, right? 160, 81 seconds per round. 81 seconds per round. Multiply that by 2. It takes 162 seconds. 162 seconds for each pet to be leveled. How many pets did I say I had at, like, stupid low level? I probably can't see now, can I? 914. Multiply that by 914 is 148,068 seconds. Divide that by 60 is 2,467 minutes. Is that right? And there's 60 minutes in an hour. So divide that by 60 again. It would take me a casual 41 hours to level 900 pets. Oh, shit. Literally not enough hours in the day to level them all. Hot diggity. Okay, spam that button. That's assuming 0 downtime. No pet, no breaks, no nothing. Easy business. Just a casual 41 hours of pet battles. Started off wanting it at T5. Nobody could do it at T5, so wanted to get it at T4. Still nobody can do it at T4. I think I can do that at T5, but I'm busy. I'm already on the clock. Right, Anaconda Chicken is... Oh, yeah, it also doesn't account for the fact that she runs away. And you got to wait for it to come back before it works. But it then kind of works. Button presser add-on, easy, come back in 41 hours. Yeah, and a banned account. That's the only problem. I should probably clear the list, the leveling list actually, and like prioritize. Should I prioritize cageable pets? How would you filter that to prioritize what you really want? Would you prioritize cageable pets so that you'd have them at 25 in case you ever wanted to sell them? Let's say I got myself an atrocious drug addiction and had to cash out all of my WoW gold and had to sell all of my battle pets to feed my addiction. And by drug addiction, I mean all the things. then having all of my cageable, tradable pets at 25 adds an extra 10k-ish per pet. 5 to 10k at least. That's also, I should probably point out, by the way, why we do this. Because even if you do end up selling
Silver
these...
Sam says, does Mantius
worth
loves
more.
jewel crafting?
Mantius loves jewel crafting.
Har matey. Mantius be a fan of all things shiny, especially jewel crafting. You should ask him yourself, Savvy. Good luck with your gold making in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, Manthi is a big fan of jewel crafting. Always has. I didn't take the time or the effort to give Stanley new transmog today. I was thinking about giving him some pet-related transmog, but I think his pirate-themed transmog will do. I'm sure lots of you are still out there plundering away. I did actually we got all of the Plunderstorm rewards yesterday. Literally banged them out. It really didn't take that long to get actually all of the rewards. Handful of hours. Still after that mixing rod. His character name is Fist Fingering. How do people... I noticed this yesterday doing Plunderstorm. Some people get away with absolute murder with their character names. Blizzard used to be really hot on this. Like, if you had even, like, not Club Penguin level ridiculous, but, like, they once upon a time would actually, like, really quickly crack down on, like, dodgy names. But I think they've clearly realised that no kids play this game anymore anyway, so, like, it can be humorous. Did I see it right that you don't have the pet battle hat? Yeah, true, I don't. I am missing the safari hat. It's been on my list of things to do for ages and ages and ages and just never have. I'm going to be brutally honest. It takes me long enough to get the current expansion pet stuff done. To go back and do everything, all of the trainers from way back in the day, is yeah, a little bit too much like hard work, if I'm honest. We'll do it one day. It's another one of those. It's on the list sort of situations. Same with the chef's hat, to be honest. Like, the chef's hat probably comes first for me, before the safari hat. But those Dalaran dailies are never happening. You can use sausages if you don't have the hat, though. The sausages are like, it's 5 tokens for an hour. The reality is I'm probably not going to spend more than a couple of hours today doing this, because it's, I don't really believe this is particularly interesting content. I'm going to have to find topics of conversation whilst we do this, because the game is clearly not going to prompt many. This is something I'll probably do a little bit more this evening. Well, there's a new PTR build that I want to take a look at. I wonder if some of it's been data mined or we've got patch notes or something. I didn't have time to look before I started the stream this morning. Chef's hat's quite easy now with the time walking vendor, as it drops from the bags that they sell. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, I didn't even know that. Or maybe I did. Maybe it's information that fell out my brain. Level 18. You keep running away from me.
Don't be shy.
We'll just rotate the camera by like 20 degrees every battle, just to keep the animation looking fresh. question to all of my tech gurus out there, of which I'm sure there is many of you. The internet is full of tech gurus. How treacherous firstly, question number one, does anybody have an OLED screen? I'm not talking TVs now, but like actual, like a proper monitor, an OLED monitor. If so, and I only want to hear this from people that do actually have one already, not just like hypothetically. If you have an OLED monitor, have you seen any real significant burn-in on it through usage? Because I'm not entirely sure whether the burn-in thing is just a bit of a meme or whether it's really a thing. I know the very, very, very early OLED panels would get so hot they would burn in, but nowadays I don't think they're... I think the tech's moved on a lot. I wouldn't trust OLED, they always seem to be off, just look behind you. Yeah, okay, I forgot to put the telly on today. I've already started the stream. If I turn the TV on now, it runs the risk of crashing the stream. How did you get the Ultra Squirt panel to show up? Do /ultra. $700 pets to level. Yeah, I figured out that we had about 915, I think it was. Reached 2850 rating for an exclusive mount in Season 2. For this thing. The Enterprising Shredder Tank. That's quite cool, isn't it? Today's build, Blizzard's add a new mount reward to the new War Within Keystone Legend Season 2. 2850 rating in the War Within Season 2. You'll earn the Enterprising Shredder Tank. This is the equivalent of completing all dungeons at a +12. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Looks pretty cool. Is there a reason to level them beyond just because they aren't max level? Well, it depends. If you don't do anything pet battle related, no. But if you're trying to do any of the... Well, if you do any pet battle stuff, then just having them at a higher level is better. We were talking about this a second ago, that maybe there's some logic to leveling up the ones that can be caged to 25 first. So then... You know, if you ever do want to sell them, they are then technically worth more than your average level 1. In today's game, you can sort of get about a 5 to 10k premium for a level 25 pet over a level 1 pet, which, you know, is every, what is it? What did we say it was? 1 minute, 21, 2 minute, every 2 to 3 minutes, you're making like potentially up to 10k in value. If you do ever then sell the pets. But in pet battles, especially if you... It's actually... If you're good at pet battles and you play the pet battle game a lot, you probably don't use the predefined teams and scripts and stuff on the XFU website. You probably just know what works well and just use it. But it's actually if you're kind of in that middle sort of semi-casual pet battle kind of connoisseur, to where having a bunch of level 25s so that you can just go onto a website that says, yes, use this team of this pet, and this pet, and then you've just got them at 25 already. It's partly the reason I do it, to be honest. Just maximising the opportunity for me to be able to quickly do the pet battle stuff. And this happens like twice a year, so... It's also triggering to not have each one at 25. They need to be blue and they need to be 25. Is that the situation? I can understand that. I can very much understand that. Right, 33 minutes on this sausage. In 33 minutes, once this sausage runs out, we'll take a little bit of a look at patch notes for this new PTR build, because I need to keep up with what's going on there. I'm probably not going to dedicate any more than a single stream per week to PTR stuff, unless there's something really important to dig through. I'm not going to go to Mr. GM level of details on my coverage of the PTR, I don't think. But a day per week seems about fair. I was talking about this yesterday. I'm pretty convinced, as of next week, we'll be playing some other games. And I think now is the absolute perfect time to put World of Warcraft down for a little bit. I've tried this recently, but of course there's always been kind of something happening, whether it's been the first PTR build or a Plunderstorm launching or something. I think next week we will play some other stuff. I haven't decided what yet. Satisfactory is very high on my list. I've got the itch. But I want the opportunity to actually put WoW down, like unsubscribe level, put WoW down for a little while. Not even log in daily to do X, Y, and Z. No, I want to forget about World of Warcraft for a few weeks completely and go do some other stuff.
How you doing, man?
Laptop delivery between 1 and 5. I have a meeting at 2, so I know exactly when they'll attempt delivery. Yep. Always the way. Always the way. This is why it's good to get... Well, we live in a small enough town that the guy that delivers all our packages is basically the same guy every single time. And so he knows to not even... like, he knows where to leave them. He knows where to leave packages if we don't answer the door. A laptop outside in this weather, though, I guess is a bit sketchy. Here's a question for any Zoomers. No boomers. No boomers need to answer this. This is purely a Zoomer question. Do Zoomers still call them laptops? Because I'm pretty convinced laptop is now technically a boomer phrase. Because not for a long, long time have they ever been atop a lap. People call them notebooks. Well, the thing is, everybody calls, oh, I've got a MacBook. And so they're MacBooks. Or notepads, I don't know. I still call them laptops. There we go, there's one more to 25. The list is getting smaller. Wait, hang on, who wants what? If they want stuff on my character, I might move. No, I'm not bothered about any of them. There was always this rumor years ago that there was some reason why companies don't call them laptops. And it was something along the lines of some woman had one on her lap and the battery in it got so hot that it burnt her legs, and she sued and she won because it wasn't fit for being atop a lap. She's just like, sure, okay. I called them needs a power source after not very long. Yeah, that's true. Although, some of the thin and light ones now. The new, my wife recently got a MacBook Air through work, and I think she's charged it once in about a month. Those things are like ridiculous now. They must be solar powered or some shit. I mean, she is literally doing nothing more than like, you know, Google Docs, spreadsheets, PowerPoint, presentation, sort of stuff. But like, at the end of the day, it's actually ridiculous how long the battery lasts on it. This is how you get warning stickers on everything. Yep. Bag of peanuts. Warning, may contain nuts. I wouldn't call that a warning. I'd be pissed off if it didn't. Sort of situation. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Judges, how we doing? Welcome in. Good morning. Since I have lots of non-English, native English speakers in chat, in the UK, Walker's crisps, which are more commonly known as Lay's chips, they're cheese and onion, right? Think of the two primary ingredients there, cheese and onion. They have a warning on the back saying may not be suitable for vegetarians. And you're like, cheese, onion, not suitable for vegetarians? What the fuck are in these chips? But the ridiculous irony is they also have beef and onion flavoured Walker's crisps, which on the back apparently are suitable for vegetarians somehow. Don't know what kind of cow they're getting their beef from. But this is where warning labels go horribly wrong. Hey Jarell, how we doing? Welcome in. Good morning. Right, Deeb's down. One more to go. Got him. Whack. Another one to 25. Smashing it now. Lay's new recipe made them awful. I'm not buying them anymore. I never bought them anyway. I always found that they were too skinny. I want some meat on my bones. They were just like crumbly. They were too skinny. I like a fatter chip. I like a chip I can grab a hold of, you know. Or a crinkle cut. Who doesn't love a crinkle cut? Or good old crinkle cut with a sour cream dip. Yes, please. Anything that says new/improved formula, you know that it's got worse but cheaper to manufacture. Oh, pretty much, yeah. Yeah. The fact that now, like, take your average chocolate bar, I don't know, a Mars bar, a Snickers, you know, your default basic bitch chocolate bar. They've slowly been getting smaller and smaller and smaller over the years. And then they'll release like a double pack one that's like that's twice the price, but the same size as the original was 10 years ago. Shrinkflation is a thing. Ribbed chips. Potato. I'll eat potatoes in any form but wedges. What's wrong with wedges? And you see, that means you've not had good wedges. Good wedges are like triangular roast potatoes. Oh, you don't get any better. But, you know, being English, I'm very biased on that front. Did you see the UK Toblerone? What, the fact that it's not a proper triangle anymore? That they've squished the triangle, yeah. Scammed. Squished the triangle, and now there's a massive gap between each one as well. Unbelievable. Hadn't bought a chocolate bar for such a long time, then the other day bought a Snickers and was kind of shocked how small it was. Yeah, it used to be like a bar of chocolate that you'd like nom on. It was at least a good few bites. Now they're like, oh, gone. Those like little mini quote unquote party sized ones are basically the same as the regular ones now. It's a scam. Yeah, the king size ones, that's it, yeah. They do king size chocolate bars, which are just the same price as the same size as the old ones used to be. Wedges usually have a coating. Yeah, okay, maybe, sometimes. We talking about spuds? Yeah, so, I don't know how. We got onto the topic of food, and I can talk about food all day. Waist keeps getting bigger, so I feel a bit better about smaller bars, maybe. Right, another one to 25. Should we have a look, see if there's any that I actually really want to get to, like, the top of the list? Or does it really not matter? Q. In teams first. That's an interesting option. Rares first. That's probably a clever way to do it, to be fair. Put all of the rares at the front. And then the uncommons and the... Ah, yeah, that's a clever way of doing it. Put all the rares at the front. Oh, I like that theory. That's how we're doing. Because the rares are the ones that I'm going to likely to then look at to use in pet battles at some point. That's actually a smart optimization there. It does mean if I go to use a pet and it's not rare, it will also probably then not be 25 and it will cost twice as much to use it, but... I'm supposed to be watching what I eat, and now I want the starchy goodness of Earth's apple. Why do we name all fruit and vegetables we don't understand apples? It's a good point, you know. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's got some Adam and Eve references, maybe. Pineapple, for instance. How tomatoes used to be called love apples. Well, pineapple is literally only used in English. If you take the word, the word for pineapple in nearly every other language is not even remotely linked to an apple. Like ananas is pineapple in Finnish, for example. It's literally a totally different word, and if you take it in Swedish, German, French, like literally any language apart from English, and it's not pineapple. Why English call it pineapple? I don't know. Makes no sense. There we go. See, we're getting we've got the whole European book of languages. Not a single one is anything even remotely close to pineapple. That makes no sense. Ananas in Portuguese too. There we go. There we go. It's just English being silly. If the Englishman doesn't know, what chance does the rest of us have? Yeah. Yeah, who knows? No, it's ananas in Finnish as well. Something wicked in Finnish. Finnish does have some interesting words. I'm sure somebody thought that it's already ridiculous the amount of A's in banana. We can't have another fruit. Maybe. Yeah. Sounds too much like banana. Apparently. But I also think banana's banana in nearly most languages as well. I don't think banana particularly changes. So maybe that was there. Maybe bananas existed before apples. At least in England. Dawns on me that I don't know the languages spoken in the Caribbean where pineapples are native to. I'd like to know what the quote-unquote original word for things are. Well, it's usually whatever it was originally called that sort of spreads, because, you know, other, oh my god, flipping Streamlabs, chill. Streamlabs seems to spam all in one go. I need to ban Streamlabs for spam. It also did my flipping... Yeah, okay. It needs to relax with its promo. I got Stanley for my shameless promo these days. I don't need Streamlabs to be doing it. Nanas means excellent fruit. Thanks, ChatGPT. Oh, there we go. There we go. It looks like it's just me and Streamlabs here. Sam, I apologise. I need to turn it down a little bit. It's a bit ridiculous. Oh, there he goes again. Flipping hell. The background to a lot of words is the conquistadors pointing at something and saying, "What is this called?" And the locals saying, "I don't understand." So the word for "I don't understand" becomes the word for the thing. Is that true? If that's true, that's hysterical. But I also see that being the case, yeah. And because English people are English, they would just ask the question louder, because of course that helps with clarity. One kebab and fries, por favor. Is my example of literally any English person on holiday. Conquistadors were the Spanish version, but yeah, I've heard of the word, and I would have linked it to something if I'd have thought about it, but slower and louder. Explorers with swords and guns, basically. Oh, that sounds a lot like my distant relatives. I'm pretty sure my last name, which I'm definitely not about to say, comes from great-great-grandpa Giuseppe not speaking good English. Our name is one-to-one the name of a neighbourhood in Italy. Gramps was probably just thought he was being asked where he was from. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. But a lot of surnames are derived from things like that. Huge amount of surnames are profession based. Like Smith, one of the most common English surnames, is short for like blacksmith. An awful lot of surnames are derived from either where you came from, what your profession is, something along those lines. That was how people sort of John, do you know John? John the baker? No, John the smith. Oh, okay. We'll call him John Smith then. I believe. Or what special trait you had. Hyacinth bouquet. Yes, she's a bucket. Like a sausage, like throwing a sausage in a cave. Blacksmithing best profession confirmed. Indeed. Yeah, none of these crafters. Jewel crafters. Well, that's boring. Smiths, mate. I have a friend, her last name translates to healthy. She should be a doctor. Oh, I always get stuck by this silly pillar.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. I knew a kid whose surname was Cockaday. Kind of unfortunate. Yeah, that kid probably didn't have much fun in the playground, did he? Or did they? By the way, thanks for your work. I'm a much better goal maker because of your content. Always working here, watching you and listening. Sam, appreciate it, thank you. That's what I go for. I knew a British girl, her last name was Lusty. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a common surname, but it's definitely a surname. You just gotta hope a first name doesn't also begin with L. Like, you know, Lucy Lusty or something. Destined for a career in porn. Nominative determinism? Is that a thing? I'm really proving how bad I am at reading and writing today, aren't I? Holy. There's an amazing subreddit for it as well. Oh, that's cool. A stage name. No, a real one. A real name. People told me if I translate silver, it will be Sam Smith. Yeah, silver's silver's a very common, I want to say, sort of like Brazilian or Portuguese sort of surname, I think, right? Something along those lines. And with it being super common, yeah, the translation would probably be Smith in English. Although, I don't really know how many people I know with the surname Smith. I ain't got a clue. Maybe? Very common Portuguese and Brazilian name. Yes. Okay. Slowly proving I'm not a complete moron here. My last name is Louston. Hashtag doxing myself. It's fine. Look you up in the phone book. I'd like to have a cool animal last name. Wolf or fox or hawk. Okay. But of course I'm on the internet calling myself Jabba's T-Dog. Hey, you gotta pick it. I find it funny the origin of some people's like online names. I mean, Mantheus is, for starters, a pretty ridiculous name, and I wish it had a cool, interesting backstory. It just really doesn't. I thought it was quirky when I was about 17, and it just has stuck ever since. There's no real backstory to my online persona, at least. Not even remotely close to my real name, which many of you will know, or some of you will know, is actually Louis. There's a webpage behindthename.com. Oh, does that give an info on like the derivation of names? I sound like Susie Dent there, didn't I? My new Plunderstorm character will be created on EU PS Realm 222. Oh, mine was created on exactly the same one, actually, by the way. Fun fact. I spotted that the other day and I thought the same. Wow, that's a lot of realms. But apparently they've just... Maybe there's not that many.
How are you?
Friend whose name is James Webb, like the telescope. Which came first? Online name goes back to the 1990s. God, I feel old now. Don't worry about it. We're all boomers in here. I was called Jabbersnout on Toontown, and my toon was a dog. A friend who I know as Mingles. Okay, shortened it to Jabbers, and then bam, Jabbers the dog. And also my father often calls me Jabberwocky due to my need to voice every thought I've ever had. Oh, I see. Verbal diarrhea. Perfect streamer persona. If you got a serious case of verbal diarrhea, streaming is a clear profession for you. Right, we must be down like a good 200 pets by now, surely. It feels like we've been doing this for days. First Plunderstorm game, wish you luck. Best of luck. Best of luck, best of luck. Oh, welcome in, Bears. How we doing? Hope you're doing well. Send me a DM. Totally working. Okay, I'll believe it. Is it a DM I need to read now? Is it a DM I should read now? You can level up 2 at a time? Takes 1 minute 25 with a script which is about 3 seconds longer. But the one you're using, but you can do 2 for 1. Haven't tested it, but spotted it. Would it not half the XP though? So, I mean, we can test it. I've probably does it need a super duper mega specific first pet though? I'm assuming it probably does. It's got to be a pet that can literally solo the whole shebang. We were looking at the leveling options earlier. 1 of 57 options. Oh, if you use this claw business, lost limb, you can then have 2 leveling pets in the same go. Only works with an SB breed. Okay. Yeah, 125, 16 to 17 turns. Do we have the pet? Lost limb. We do have a lost limb, but mine is BB, What did it say you needed? SB. Yeah, you're going to need a speed one minimum, aren't you? You're going to need one that can... you're going to need one that can go fast and attack first, I would guess. Interesting thought, though. I haven't got the breed for it. Knock me over with a feather. Is that the Bear's Adventures? It is indeed. Say hello. Yeah, we took a little bit of a look at some of the others earlier. The reason I'm using the one I am is because it's 1 minute 20 seconds, which is fine, and it works. There were some quicker ones, but they then started requiring very specific breeds. Presumably speed breed pets, which I've never particularly hunted for. And I'm of the theory that when this only happens once a day, more time spent actually doing will counteract any extra time trying to optimize today, at least. But you are right, like, optimizing is always good. But thanks for the heads up, appreciate it. I would be interested to try that, leveling 2 pets at the same time. I would guess it would split the XP 50-50 though. I don't think all the experience would go. I don't know. Or maybe it doesn't. Not sure. We had a colleague, her surname was Kite. After she got married, she became Falcon. We joked about a downgrade. I mean, I think a Falcon is an upgrade, yo. I mean, a kite just hovers and flaps in the wind. Falcon, like, owns the skies. That's an upgrade, if anything, surely. Unless the joke has literally gone over my head. An idea here, hear me out. What if Blizzard would allow us, when playing Plunderstorm, to convert plunder into actual gold with like a 50% conversion rate? That way I might actually play Plunderstorm. As if now I'm not really interested by the rewards. I think Plunderstorm would then be incredibly full of bots. Like, somebody would have a bot up and running on that before you could blink. You'd have 59 out of 60 bots per lobby by that point, I think. I'll be trying it at lunch, so I'll let you know. Can't you just have WoW running on, like, the second screen? All you're doing is pressing spacebar. It's insanely busy today. Hence the need for a quick splurge on social media, clearly. I'm joking. I'm joking. Work hard. Work hard. The harder you work, the sooner you'll finish work. Is the theory, at least. Redundancies happening and all. Oh, you're firing people. Bear's firing people. You heard it here first. But Bear's firing people. Bad Bear. She's super busy. So busy she can't spend any time in a stream because she's far too busy firing people. Shocking. I have a hear me out for WoW 2. They should bring back the claws of Shrivalalalalalala. Cat form as a cosmetic form instead of a talent. We have the werebear. Give me back my werecat. I'm sure druids know what you mean. I have no idea. No idea what any of those words meant. But I'm with you. I'm with you to the death on that one. P45s don't write themselves. No, they don't. No, they don't. Assuming, P45 doesn't really exist, I think, outside of the UK. P45 is a document that denotes your tax information that you take to your next employer in the UK. It's usually the piece of paper you get given when you're fired. That's a see you later. Fired or leave, technically, I should state. It's just a useful tax document at the end of the day. Right, another one bites the dust. Boom. Leveled up, 25. Big points. Oh no, my sausage fell off. Right, now we have now I have a decision to make. Let's take a 20-minute pause from doing pet battles. So then we can look at some
Don't be shy.
some PTR stuff. Let's take a little look at some PTR stuff. When I got my sausage on, I want to use the full 60 minutes of sausage. But there was a new build yesterday, and I'm intrigued to see if there's any actual... Can we see if there's any straight up patch notes? Blizzard forums. Yep, that one will do. No. Warcraft forums. Oh, the PTR hasn't come online yet. Oh, is it not? We got patch notes, maybe? Undermined. Dev notes. 10 hours ago. Linksy's on it. 10 hours ago. Right, what we got then? What we got? We're looking into improving drive. We'll post updated notes when we do. Okay, so it's very clear then that last week's feedback regarding drive is at least being taken into consideration. Now, I don't know what they see. This is where they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place simply because one of the biggest bits of feedback was that the boost and it's just too fast. But you got to understand why people say it's too fast. It's too fast because you're constrained to what then ends up feeling like a very, very, very small zone where everything is quite tightly packed together. It's not that the car is too fast. It's that the zone isn't big enough to support the speed of the car. If they choose to nerf the shit out of the speed of the car, then you have another problem on your hands that when you eventually, maybe possibly, as everybody also wants, is to use the car in other parts of the game, then the car in the right environment is going to feel really sluggish. So I don't know how they deal with this. They're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on what to do. They're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't in this scenario, I think, which is a problem. The real problem is the fact that the zone that they've decided to implement this feature into just isn't really fit for having a super fast car go zooms around it. But I guess that's only one. The speed of it is clearly only one factor, but we'll see what they do. Cage of Carnage, the PvP arena, is going to be testable by the looks of things to better facilitate testing for the duration of the PTR. The Cage of Carnage arena will be set as the only arena map in the pool when players queue up for arena skirmishes or rated arenas. Class changes, I kind of typically don't go through class changes because there's usually billions of them, and I tend to think that you are most keen on your own personal class changes and not everybody else's. So check the notes yourself if you're super keen to find out exactly what's changing with your own. I've even skipped over the hunter ones. Was Delves Season 2 Delver's Journey and rewards are now available for testing. Oh, that'll be something interesting to have a look at then. Excavation Site 9, Kriegville's Rest and the Waterworks are up for testing as well. An issue causing Bronzebeard's brown bear to sometimes not engage in combat has been fixed. I didn't do any testing of the delve. Well, we went into a delve and then we suddenly realised that the scaling was busted. And so it was basically impossible to test. But they also now seem to fix this. So maybe we can have a little bit of a poke around on the delves. Probably tomorrow. We might not actually do too much of the test. Well, if the PTR hasn't actually come online yet, we can't do it yet. But they've fixed the scaling apparently, which is nice. Dungeons and raid stuff. The Cinderbrew Meadery has had a few tweaks. Royal Jelly Purveyor Honey's volley cooldown has been increased. The Hobgoblin's delivery cooldown has been increased. Some slight tweaks and tuning to some of the dungeons. The intellect and stamina values given by the Daybreak, the Sunset, and the Weavercloth spell thread in the War Within have been adjusted to match the agility, strength, and stamina values given by their armor kit counterparts for better parity. These changes apply to existing enchantments and do not require reapplying a spell thread for updated values. Oh, that's interesting. Spell threads kind of got left in the dust a little bit. Is this going to bring them back into the limelight a touch, maybe? In most instances, this is a significant increase, with 1 and 2 star quality of the Weavercloth spell thread being reduced in its potency. For example, a 3-star quality Sunset spell thread goes from 747 int and 230 stamina, all the way up to 930 int and 895 stamina. Holy! Yeah, Q3 spell threads have had a massive buff. Massive buff. Whilst the 2-star qualities go from 536 actually down to 525. This is a huge... Okay, that's interesting. That's a huge buff to the 3-star ones, but an actual nerf to the 2-star ones. Okay. Well, that's good news for tailors. Solid news there for tailors. Your spell threads might actually see a little bit more demand. Now, demand doesn't really mean much now, but it will definitely have an effect on potential BIS lists and enchanting guides and the likes come season 2. Some good news for golems in there. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Squints at webpage. Oh look, Disco Chicken's coming home. Sad that it was locked to balance druids, even if I understand why it was done. These are all druid things I don't understand. I have barely played a druid in my life. Yeah, Golden must be happy. I think he said he was stockpiling them. Yeah, the fact that it's going to retroactive... Well, it... Yeah. Yeah, that's just nothing more than a win for tailoring. Tailoring needed in the consumable aspect, at least anyway, tailoring needed that little win. There was basically... This might then mean that there is some value in actually crafting these again. The tailoring's problem is that there's nowhere for your concentration to go. Tailoring had nowhere for its concentration to go, and so at least this will hopefully then cause enough demand across the board for the spell threads to jack their value up at least a little bit. Woo's right though. I mean, it wasn't exactly like leatherworking was doing fantastically well with its armor kits anyway. The armor kits issue is that they're just too goddamn easy to make. Or should I say the intermediate materials that go into making the leg armors are too damn easy to make. in terms of the fact that there you can like surpass the difficulty by like an easy 30 points or something, which basically means you can use Q2 mats to make Q3 stuff in the first place. Okay, sure. Bronze celebration tokens from the 20th anniversary event have been converted into time walking badges. The exchange is 20 time walking badges for each bronze celebration token, matching the boxes that were on the event vendor. Nice! Nice. I'm glad that they chose to do this in the end. I like to think I had a little bit of something to do with them implementing this. I probably wasn't the entire reason, but I was suggesting change on the WoW Creator Discord of that this should probably be an automatic conversion, because a use it or lose it on a 20th anniversary event thing was a bit gross. Obviously, the better solution would have been probably just to have left the vendors up somewhere, but at least auto-converting them to time walking badges is a somewhat fair alternative. Scrapfield 9001's health threshold to trigger the absorb effect has been lowered. I have no idea what that means. The Singing Citrine's heal effect has been reduced by 33% for damage dealers and tank specs. Okay. PvP changes. Few PvP class changes. And the Undermined campaign now only requires completing the level up campaign and a level 80 character. Is that not all it needed anyway? Because you could skip... okay. No, maybe you needed to have done the main campaign. Oh, it needed the Siren Isle. Did it really? I did that today. Yeah, maybe the only characters I copied over to the PTR were... Wait, characters at level 80? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, because it's an 80 zone. Okay. All right. Well, patch notes don't necessarily always tell the whole story. So there's a strong possibility there's more going on behind the scenes there. I want to see MMO Champions' perspective on this, if they've data mined any of it. 11.1 Raid Renowned feature preview in context. Oh, there's been an actual official post on this as well. Oh, the Raid Renowned feature preview in context. Nice, okay. Scarizard is doing his thing. Let me go grab a drink then. I'm intrigued by this. Not that I'm probably going to do much raiding, but I think it's a interesting twist on progression that they haven't done before. Stroke one dog, you got to stroke the other dog. Good girl. Contracts will sell for ages because all the raid teams will want the max buff. Well, I haven't read through this, but the contract is for the one faction. This is a separate renown track and a separate faction. It has its own separate one. There might not be a contract for this. The contract is for the main goblin cartel, whatever they're called, I believe. Unless they, of course, add a second contract specifically for this reputation and renown path. Let's see. Let's read the notes. 11.1 PTR cycles going strong. We wanted to shed some light on a new feature that's coming alongside the new raid, the Liberation of Undermine. 11.1 will feature a new raid-only renown track aimed at providing a host of power increases over time, as well as some cosmetic rewards and improving the quality of life for some raiders. This renown is earned exclusively through completing the raid and is a pretty big experiment on our end. So let's talk about how we got here and why we're trying it and what it actually entails. Okay, context. Context is good. Raiders in the War Within will at least be somewhat familiar of Narubar's finery, a currency that's collected from defeating the bosses within Narubar Palace that can be turned in to gain a stacking warbound damage and healing increase. Whilst we believed in our reasons to tackling this, namely to allow for players to more easily meet their seasonal goals as time went on, as well as providing some extra value for those who enjoyed raiding long term but may want to try it on a variety of characters, we knew the implementation relying on currencies and quests wouldn't be perfect. In hindsight, it was a lot less than perfect than we accounted for. With the warbands being such a new feature, there were some pitfalls that led to bugs and an overall confusion about how much finery one should have, how you are relative to intended seasonal progress, and so on. Despite this, we felt the reception to its inclusion was positive and that it was adequately performing its purpose. Players did gain power over time, allowing them to topple the roadblocks that might have kept them stuck for long periods in previous seasons. And the cadence was quick enough that players felt motivated to continue clearing to see that progress play out. So in looking at how to iterate and improve on the feedback, we felt we needed something visible that's already familiar to players that's also understood as a warbound feature. And through this lens, Renown felt like the obvious step as a possible forever home for this type of feature. Sure, okay, logical so far, giving players that sort of steady week-on-week nerf to the raid. Like I said, I got to be super careful here. I don't particularly do much endgame raiding, so my opinion on this is probably not the most valued. But I'm not in the belief of that they should be nerfing the raid until it's no longer the current raid. That's just my take on things. I think they should create a raid, tune it appropriately, launch it, and for that patch, it should stay the same. That's my take on this. I'm not a big fan of this, like every single week we're going to nerf it by 5%. In the past, that was kind of necessary due to poor tuning in the past. Due to poor tuning, maybe something was overtuned and people just weren't able to kill it and it was a roadblock for people, and so they're like, oh, you know what, well, you know, it's been a while, we'll give you a 10% damage buff in this one. Or for things like LFR, where there's a air of randomness, you get that stacking percentage damage buff. The more you fail, the more damage you do. I kind of don't personally like, from a gameplay design, having it be slightly easier every week. I think you can do that shit, but do that when it's not the current raid, I feel. I'm not. I would much rather see them make the raids easier to clear and get more people through it, than have this kind of like weird, because even within the season that the raid is current, you've kind of got the like, oh, I killed the boss on Mythic. Yeah, but what week? Did you do it pre-nerf, post-nerf? It's all a bit of a shit show as far as I'm concerned. I think that when a raid is in the season, it should be left as it is. And Blizzard should prioritize not making it so ridiculously hard. It would, in my opinion, it would be better if a raid tier was easier than too difficult. I know the race to world first is clearly going to be come into topic of conversation here. what's appropriate tuning? Either we only have 3 guilds clearing it, or there won't be a race really at all, and the race is a huge promotion. Yeah, agreed. I've thought for a long time now that Mythic is too difficult. There's already significant stumbling blocks for most people to even get in the door of Mythic raiding. The fact that you need to find exactly 19 other people to be reasonably equally geared and willing to dedicate multiple hours of their time all at the same time in today's world is not necessarily as easy as it used to be when there was only one MMO and people lived on it. I think just getting in the door of Mythic raiding is complicated enough these days. So much so that I don't think that the Mythic difficulty should really be such a huge step up. I think it'd be much better for people to work through normal. You could probably smash through normal with a guild like in an evening, move into heroic, get heroic done over a week or 2, then go into mythics, and mythic not necessarily be too much more difficult, but with the requirement of that you kind of need to bring exactly 20 players, you know? And you can't bring 10, you can't bring 25, you got to bring that exact 20. But the difficulty spike for Mythic, I don't think should be much more. But that's my take. Like, you know, this is my opinion on this. But anyway, either way, if they do wish to do this like steady week by week progressive nerf to stuff, let's see how they're going to do it then. They're going to implement the Galagio, sorry. My brain always says Gallio, but it's Galagio. It's after the Bellagio. The Galagio Loyalty Reward Club. This is a 20-step renown track aimed to combine the aforementioned scaling raid buff alongside some stable comforts like raid skips and introduce some newer ones to see what works well and what doesn't. In an ideal world, a raid renown should achieve the following goals. So this is what they're shooting for. It should supplement the storytelling and the setting of the raid to improve the immersion and the flavour of it. Okay, sure. Should easily communicate and telegraph what your efforts will yield over time. This is where I think I have different opinions to Blizzard on this. Your efforts will yield better results over time by proxy of you killing more bosses more frequently, getting more gear, getting stronger, and playing the game better. I am not strictly of the belief that just by logging on 1 week later, you should be 5% more powerful. My take. The average age of a WoW player now is probably quite high. We're not all high school and college age anymore as a general rule. Probably very true. Like I said, I think the biggest stumbling block for most guilds is just getting exactly 20 people online at the right time. That's probably the hardest thing to do. If you can get exactly 20 people to go in and try and kill a boss, then you should hope to be able to take that boss down. You don't want to have to cross the barrier of getting exactly 20 people together and then there'd be a monstrous spike, because then you put guilds in a weird position where you're like, well, we've got 18 people. We could try and pug 2 more people to go do Mythic, but pugging plus Mythic is a real, that could be a real shit show, especially if they're key members of the team, tanks or healers, for example. We could try and pug 2 extra people, chance it, go in and try and kill down some bosses on Mythic, but with the additional difficulty spike, we might actually come out there achieving absolutely diddly squat. Or we could just go in and do our heroic. We could repeat heroic again with the 18 players. Maybe we can bring the 5 or 6 other people that might want to bring alts in, because I'm not convinced that going up to Mythic should really have this big step, and in turn then have like this passive nerf inflicted on it. But I'm not sure. They also aim to improve the moment-to-moment experience of raiding, noticeably between encounters or during breaks. Is it a moment-to-moment experience to not raid for 3 weeks, but to come back and for the boss to then just magically be noticeably easier without you doing anything? That is almost more jarring to me. That's not... okay, sure. I've clearly got a strong preconception of what I would want the raid to be, and it's clearly different, so maybe I... Okay. Be accessible and forgiving for players who miss weeks of raiding or start midway through a season. Yes, that's definitely something to aim for. That's definitely something to aim for. Be accessible and forgiving for players who miss weeks of raiding or start midway through a season. Let's say you don't start your raiding adventure until midway through the season. See, this is about sort of getting the expectations right. Should you have the expectations that you can start halfway through a season and be competitive with the people that started from the beginning? You're like... I'm not sure. It feels a lot like if you don't start raiding till halfway through the season, you naturally shouldn't have the expectations that you're going to just stroll in and kill bosses. You started halfway through a season. Seasons are not... I think this is old Blizzard thinking here. Maybe shoot me down if I'm wrong on this, but this feels a lot like old Blizzard. When we'd have a season, it literally lasts 6 months. Like, because Blizzard are doing a much better job these days of like, a season is this long, right? Surely, the season is this long. People come back to play the game for the start of the season because they know that's when you play the game. If you casually stroll in halfway through, I mean, for starters, if you casually stroll in halfway through, surely you're not going to have any of the renown anyway, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. If you turn up halfway through a season, you're on renown 1. You're on renown 1, mate. You ain't got no buffs. So... And if you miss weeks of... Because this isn't going to be like global buffs. This is personal shit, right? You have to unlock the renown that gives you the buff. If you haven't unlocked the renown because you missed weeks or you started halfway through, this doesn't seem to correlate with a renown track system. I think. Boss is only going to be easier for you if you've been clearing it every week. Finery dropped more often if you missed weeks. In this instance, they'd have to ramp up the rep values per boss. Rep will ramp up, yes. Oh, okay, sure. Manthe, turn your head. There's something strange coming through your window. I think it's called sunlight. You're not wrong. It's definitely some sunlight. There's going to be dudes in LFG looking for max renown only. Please link renown. Oh, fuck. The pug world is going to jump on this, isn't it? Please link renown. Warband wide, and there's going to be catch up for the rep. Okay, well, we'll keep reading. Having catch up for this rep once again, in my mind, is let's create a problem and then so that we can create a solution to fix the problem. If you didn't create the problem, you don't need to also create the solution to fix the problem. My hypothetical for let the raid be the raid and just tune it so it's easier. Like, tune the raid so it's like 1 or 2 steps down in terms of difficulty. Just make the raid a little bit easier, then more people will be able to progress through it. Sure, you're going to sacrifice some of the real top-end, hyper-competitive, sweaty, min-maxy sort of play. But if the race to world first is 7 days or 10 days, most people don't care. And the race to world first for 99.9% of the player base is just a small form of entertainment to keep you busy whilst you're playing the first couple of weeks yourself as well. Nobody, I think, is tuning into the race to world first if they're not already playing the game. This is why I think that, like, the marketing aspect to the race to world first, I'm not convinced how well it does. Because I don't really think it draws people in. I don't think people see the race to world first on Twitch and are like, oh, you know what, I'm going to log back in. I think they kind of already have logged back in and they've just got Max up on another screen, if I'm honest, probably getting some Twitch drops at the same time. But I am known to be a touch cynical on these things. Race to world first is one of the biggest esports events there is. No way they can do that. It's one of the biggest esports events that Blizzard doesn't really do anything for. If it had that much of an impact, you would think that Blizzard would have officially supported it significantly more. Why did Blizzard never put up any prize pool or anything for it? I think it's nearly entirely 100% community driven. If it wasn't for like limit echo method, previous guilds such as like Big Dumb Guild or whatever they were formerly known as, like if it wasn't for some of the big boys putting in huge amounts of time and effort and turning it into a business themselves, Blizzard have never really done anything about it. Blizzard have always sort of been like, right, well, you do you. I don't doubt it pulls the numbers in. It pulls the viewers in, but I think it's only pulling in viewers that are already there. I'm not convinced that I'm not convinced that its reach is wide enough to bring people back to the game or players back to the game. I think it's just a form of entertainment for the people who already have come back to the game and are probably playing it themselves. This is the criteria, though, that we'll consider for 11.1's Raid Renown as a success or failure, and feedback on everything from the above goals or how long the track should be, time to complete, and what's available through it will help shape what it looks like in future patches, or whether it should be in future patches at all. So let's then read a bit further and see just how we obtain this renown, as it's already been pointed out that there is some catch-up implications to this. So let's talk about how players will gain some reputation, the proposed cadence in place to ensure a smooth progression over time. Like everything covered in the post, these are subject to change, so feel free to ask questions or inquire if anything is unclear. So as with the Severed Strands buff in Narubar Palace, this renown is fully warbound and is difficulty agnostic. It can be progressed on any character, on any difficulty, and be applied to different ones at a later date. Players who enter the raid will begin at round with Renown 1 unlocked, with a globally rising cap of 1 renown per week to be able to be earned from the raid. Wait, what? Players who enter the raid will begin at Renown 1, with a globally rising cap of 1 renown per week that can be earned. There's 20 levels to this bad boy. There's 20 renown levels and they're capping it weekly. You get 1 renown max per week, and there's 20 renown levels. Dear Lord. Dear Lord, have mercy. I can't see anybody particularly being overly excited about that one, okay? For example, this means that week 1 of the raid's opening will allow players to get to renown 2 and no further, regardless of how many bosses have been killed. A player starting the raid for the first time on week 11, however, will be able to rapidly progress towards the cap before joining everybody else at the 1 per week. Okay. This seems like an awful lot of justification for time gating, and I don't like time gating. A total of 5,000 reputation is present within the raid, twice as much as what is needed to get your 1 renown for the week. This is obtained by killing bosses, and namely the lieutenant enemies within the raid. We're trying this for a few reasons. Firstly, to be less prescriptive on where and how players spend their time in the raid. Previously, players needed to fully clear the Narubar Palace before they'd obtain enough currency to turn in for the week. This should allow more flexibility and less time preparing if your goal is to just obtain the buff to be used in the same week's progress. Okay, hang on, let me catch up with chat because people are screaming at me here. This is basically the ICC buff, but in a different form. Worse than the time gating in the Siren Isle. Yeah, only 6 weeks in there, yeah. To get the first bullion, you need 4.5 months. If you leave it until week 4 and then just kill 4 bosses, you'll insta catch up. Seems kind of pointless, to be honest. This might be to offset rage when they do the next early access. Oh Lord. It will avoid guilds requiring you to farm to renown 20 in 1 week, I guess. Come in at week 6, you can earn 6 levels in 1 week. Catch up is 2. The catch up is only 2 levels per week. Is it? Does it state that anywhere? Alright, well, we should probably read through this all before, because we're clearly missing some stuff. Secondly, we're hoping for this to be less punishing to groups and guilds that progress slower for various reasons. In Season 1, if your group couldn't fully clear the raid, you are only creating more work for yourself in a future week. This should ensure that groups both skipping to later bosses or stuck partway through the raid can still see progress for engaging as best they can without necessitating homework between raid nights. Reputation is going to be split as followed. Bosses 1 through till 6 will provide 450 reputation each. What's 6 times 450? Like just under 5, okay, 5k, yeah. Boss 7 is going to provide 600 rep. And Chrome King Gallywix, the final boss, will provide 1,000. There are 7 lieutenant enemies through the raid present in the trash packs that will provide the final 100 each, totaling your 5,000. So, in essence, is this designed so that you can basically skip the early stuff for the most part, get your 1,000 from here, 1,700 by just doing the final boss and the trash probably leading to the bosses. Trash and final boss for 1,700. 1,700, 2,300. So you're going to have to kill one of the first 6 bosses. One of the first 6 bosses, all the trash. So boss 6, 7 and 8. You can do the 3 final bosses and the trash and get you 2,500. Is for guilds that are like, you know, pushing. That you don't need to clear the whole raid again each time. It hasn't said anything so far in terms of difficulty, though. It can be progressed on any character on any difficulty. So you telling me you can do this on LFR and get the same amount of reputation? And what the flipping hell's the point? This really stinks of we're going to make a problem so that we can sell the solution. Catch-up mechanics catch-up specifics are to be decided, but will function very similar to how Narubar's Finery did. This is to say that there will be a sliding scale where players that are further behind will gain more reputation on kills, ensuring that they should rapidly approach parity with the global norm, likely in the span of a few weeks. So catch-up is still going to take you a few weeks. Okay. For players interested in the cosmetic rewards granted by this track, the Galagio Loyalty Rewards Club is intended to remain a functional track far into the future. Think of like the Shadowpan Assault or the Hydraxian Warlords. So it can be earned even at the accelerated cadence by non-raiders in future patches and or expansions. In essence, completely trivializing the whole thing by the time it goes legacy, which it should really. It's not necessary to complete this track within the season or on any sort of timer to obtain the mounts or the toys within. Okay. Okay. I don't like it, but it'll probably work. I don't like it, but that's based on my very strong predisposition to think that there shouldn't be any catch-up in the current season's raid. For example, when you go into Season 2, they should implement a catch-up for Season 1 raid. That you can then blast the Season 1 raid and get all the gear from the Season 1 raid. Catch up, like, it really, like, it grinds me that catch up is implemented within the season that the content is current. It always has done. I've never thought that makes a huge amount of sense, especially now that they're also relatively strict on the seasonal length. Like, if you want to play a season, you play the season. This is why you have seasons. If you start playing a game halfway through a season, it gives you time to catch up to where you need to be to compete within that season, but you can't turn up halfway through a season and expect to have the same results as somebody that's been playing since the beginning of the season. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that you have, to me personally, that you have catch up within the season that the content is current. Look at like Diablo, for example. I know it's an ARPG, I know it's different, but like they do this seasonal content. So if you get hooked on the game halfway through a season, you know you have the expectation that you're not going to get the best performance halfway through that season, but you know a new season is not too far away in which you can then start the beginning and push if you wish. This is why I tend to think retail is like super arcadey now. That it doesn't matter what day of the week, what day of the month you start playing the game, they want to get you to, like they want to get rewards in your face as fast as you can. And it leads to creating problems to which they then have to create solutions for. If you don't create the problem, you don't need to create a solution to the problem if you just don't create the problem. Just make the raid one step easier so that more people naturally progress. If you kill 3 bosses in your first week with your team, with your guild, whatever, even if you pug it, you should get some gear that will then aid you when you go back next week. It should be passively easier because of the gear that you obtained, not because you now have a bonus 5% buff. I don't know. I don't like it. People love the 3% buff every other week. Yeah, I mean, I guess it sort of, it puts an air of, I don't know, we live in a world where fairness is like super highly put on a super high pedestal. But I think like there's equal fairness for those people who start at the beginning of the season and grind through at the beginning and work with their team and achieve something. Then I don't know. It's always it just feels odd to me. It feels odd. It really does. Carrot on the stick for the casual raiders and those who are not really into raiding. Blizzard are trying to make more people engage with raiding. It's the same approach as like nerfing keys, removing affixes and so on to bring more people into the activity. Potentially, yeah, for sure. Is this just listing what you get with all of the renowns? Just talk about them in a little bit more detail. So profession tables, vendors, crafting order specialist at the Incontinental Hotel by default for everybody straight away by the looks of things. You'll be able to consume food faster whilst in the Undermine. Gain access to the Busted Rune Dispenser and objects in the hotel, which has a chance of granting an augment rune. That should probably be an object. The Busted Rune Dispenser, there's some goblin related interest in this just by what is the chance for it to give you an augment rune. A lot of people have stocked up on augment runes and are expecting them to go up in price when the demand kicks in. Just how much is people being potentially given a freebie going to affect the market? Obviously, a freebie a week is probably not going to make a blind bit of difference, but if it dishes them out like candy, people might be less inclined to buy them off the auction house. We don't know. Transmog and item upgrade vendors become available inside the hotel. You get your loyalty card at Renown 4 a month into the raid, let's not forget. You start at Renown 1, you'll hit Renown 2 in the first week, second week, third week. Third week in, you'll get your loyalty card, access a Hearthstone for the Incontinental Hotel, and your first 3% damage and healing increase. So no buff really kicks in until at least the first few weeks has passed. 30-minute cooldown, only usable inside the raid. It's intended to return you to the hub between the bosses if you need crafting, upgrading, or anything else. A couple of repair stations. Remove the sated debuffs. These are not intended to replace the value of engineering hammers and will be placed sparsely in the outdoor areas of the raids. 10% movement speed buff inside the raid, but whilst out of combat, and access to a self-resurrection while out of combat at Renown 6 a few weeks later. Tuning on the self-res is to be decided, but we're presently targeting a 30-minute to an hour range on the cooldown, aimed as being an emergency wipe recovery tool. Okay, fair. Damage and healing buff up to 6%. Raid skip unlocked at Renown 8. After defeating the first boss, an NPC will fly with a rocket. Fly in with a rocket that you can use to skip to between bosses 7 and 8. Didn't we determine earlier that you needed to kill the last 3 bosses and all of the trash as minimum to get your 2,500 each week? So if you just want to skip to the last boss, you're still going to have to backtrack at least if you're trying to progress the Renown even further. Okay. What if you haven't progressed that far? Do you still get a skip? The reality is, as I considering initially they said this is available on any difficulty. Where is it? On any difficulty. If you're missing renown, you just do an LFR. Like I think if this is truly acquirable on any difficulty, any raider isn't going to really worry about not hitting their renown each week, because if they skip, if they're taking the skip in normal, or they're progressing and they're taking the skip in heroic, oh, well, just doing that one boss, taking the skip isn't going to get me renown for the week. Dude, just go do an LFR. Like, just stroll through LFR, get your renown that way. I think will be the mindset there. I mean, I could, but I'm busy. I think that will be the approach. If you take the skip and don't get enough renown by taking the skip, you just go do an LFR, call it a day. 2 vendors outside the Cauldron of Carnage, one of the raid's earlier bosses, will sell you miniaturized battle pets based on Torque and Florendo, the mechanical gorilla and the mechasaur, found within the encounter. Damage and healing buff up to 9%. Out of combat movement speed up to 20%. You are now granted 1 counterfeit dealer's chip, which can be traded at the hotel for cosmetics. A goblin inside the raid will provide you with hot sauce, a fire-breathing damage proc that scales in effectiveness dependent on your raid consumables. Wait, hang on, what? Profession consumables historically have an issue where they don't often scale throughout an expansion. So this is an attempt at making the value of your well-fed, your flask, your potion, and your enhancements stronger within a raid setting. Oh, shit. Oh, I really don't like that. You know why I really don't like that? Because then that basically means they have no incentive to make new profession consumables throughout the expansion. That's almost the nail in the coffin for any new profession stuff. Because they're just going to fix it within a raid by making you nom on a hot sauce. Oh, that's kind of sad. Okay. They never did, though. I mean, we often would have some new stuff come through, but this feels like they're really not bothered about making new profession stuff. They're just going to eat some hot sauce and make your well-fed flasks and potions stronger because you've got a hot sauce buff. I mean, it's not going to make the demand of the basic stuff go away, at least. I suppose it's not that one is replaced by a new thing, but it's nice to have something new to chase after. Retire the old one, chase after the new one. This just means that, you know, once you've leveled your professions and once you can make your flasks and your potions, then you're set for the entire expansion. Damage and healing up to 12%. You get the busted rune dispenser from Renown 2 has now been fixed, and it will always grant you an augment rune and has a chance to grant more or even explode on you. So it's not until like 13 weeks in, so it's not until 3 months into the season, which, let me remind you, 3 months into the season should be nearly the next season, with the speed in which they do stuff these days. Yeah, okay. It's not until 3 months in that you'll get a guaranteed augment rune every week. So I'm pretty sure in saying the augment rune market is fine. I think it'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, 3 months is halfway through, to be fair. You're right. I think it, like, I think 3 months into the patch, we should start getting the PTR for the next patch. That's how my brain works. That was my content creator brain. 3 months in, you should expect to start seeing information about the next one. Which also usually means that there's the half assumption that a lot of people are not finished with the current one, but they're pretty well through it. Second counterfeit dealer chip for more cosmetics at Renown 15. Healing buff goes up to 15% at Renown 16. Receiving a puzzling cartel chip can be traded for a weapon, a trinket, or another special item from the raid. Similar again to Season 4's Bullions and Shadowlands Season 4 Dinars. These are intended to have their own upgrade track, which means they'll scale all the way to the maximum rank of 14, given enough crests and valor stones. They could change before launch, but the intent is for these to be fully upgradable and usable by anybody that reaches this point, and not locked or conditioned to certain difficulties. So we're looking at 16 weeks into the raid. 16 weeks into the raid, so like 4 months into the raid before this system kicks in. Out of combat movement, Auctioneer now becomes accessible within the hotel. Puzzling cartel chip and the damage and healing buff increases its maximum of 18%. So they clearly have confidence that they can tune the raid to within 20% margin of error, basically. If they're willing to give you a 20% buff during the season in which the raid is current content, they're still relatively confident that they can tune things well enough that a 20% buff to your throughput should be more than enough for you to, like, push through it, in theory. And then Renown 20, a purely cosmetic rank. People get the High Roller title. You get the teleport to the raid's entrance that's usable from anywhere. And, of course, the Furious Florendo mount, the robot mechasaur found within the Cauldron of Carnage fight. We'll stick around to do our best to clarify and answer the questions where appropriate, so thank you so much for reading. We're looking forward to your feedback and discussion on this topic. See you in the Undermine. If you can gain, like... This basically means do an LFR every couple of weeks and you'll get your Florendo mount. Like, I can already hear the collectors thinking how they cheese this. Do an LFR every couple of weeks and you'll get your Florendo mount, basically. Mostly down to the fact that they've said that the Renown is going to come from any difficulty. So it's kind of excluded from your ability to progress through the raid. If you kill bosses, you get rep. It doesn't matter what difficulty you kill bosses on, you just need to kill bosses. Kill bosses, you get rep. There's twice as much rep available as needed, so you only need to clear technically half the raid to be able to get what you need to progress on a weekly basis if you do choose to do it weekly. But the catch-up is likely to give you, like, a couple of renown. They've said here, didn't they, that catch-up is still to be decided. It should rapidly approach parity with the global norm, likely in the span of a few weeks. So there's even the possibility, right, that, like, in literally 19 weeks after the season has started, you'll only actually really be about 3 weeks behind getting your Florendo mount. So if you wait until week 17 to do anything to do with the raid, and then do 3 weeks of LFR, there's a chance that you'll get your Florendo mount at exactly the same time everybody else gets their Florendo mount. So I don't think the cosmetics problem is going to be too much of an issue if the catch-up system does work as intended. I don't think there'll be too many issues there. I do still really think week 20 is almost season 3 time. I mean, clearly that's how they want to structure it, right? They want to give you some reason to log in and engage weekly, but they also want to allow you to take time off and then be able to catch up quickly if you want, I guess. I guess considering the overall buff is only 18%, I can't really object to the whole thing too much. But it does scream very strongly of like, let's make a problem so that we can then fix it. I just think how much dev time and effort goes into doing this, when if they just didn't do any of this and just, you know, I think this is creating a problem with that. Like, if they just didn't do any of this, they could still give you the cosmetics and stuff. You could, they could drop off the bosses. Like, why does the Florendo mount? What's wrong with the Florendo mount dropping off the Florendo boss? That's kind of how it's always worked, and nobody's really objected about it too much. And for whilst the season is current, you could even have it dropping at like a reasonably high rate, and then it goes 1% when it's not the main. That's kind of how mounts have always worked. That's what keeps these mounts kind of feeling cool, you know? This is why people are still to this day killing flipping Kel'Thuz's ass for ashes, because it keeps the mounts cool. If there's... This will just basically mean that absolutely every man and their dog will have the Florendo mount basically by season 3. And while it's a cool mount that everybody will have it, there won't be any notoriety around having it because of that reason, I think. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I guess my overall is probably quite neutral on this. And I also need to clarify that I don't particularly do endgame raiding, so nobody needs to really listen to my opinion on this. Can we gauge some general consensus on this? 17 weeks to get the first bullion is hilariously bad. The raid's over at that point. Raid skip being all difficulties is interesting. I don't think it will break anything. Being able to skip earlier bosses to do the harder ones isn't exactly going to make that content easier. And plus we have 3 versions of the same quest in the logs anymore, so it's a win overall. Nice to see raid teleport being accessible. Should be earlier in the track though. Gaining the ability to teleport to the raid when you're possibly done with it already kind of feels bad. That's how portals have always worked, though, isn't it? You get the portal just in time for you to not need to go there anymore. I think it should be like at Renown 10, in fact. Sure. You're going to be... The theory is that you should be in the zone anyway during the season. You kind of should be in the zone already, and so you don't really need a portal to the zone if you're kind of already there. The portal and teleports and stuff are just kind of useful for when you want to go back and farm it for transmog and stuff like that. When you're not actually in the zone, and being able to quickly get there is just convenient. Funny you're looking at this. I just watched Mr. GM's video. The mount being locked at 20 sucks. Well, it's locked at 20. But the way that the catch-up system seems to be implemented is that if you go from 0, you can go from 0 to 20 in about 3 weeks after the season's done. So you do 3 LFRs, 3 weeks of LFR after the season's finished, and you'll still have your mount. You can put in 0 effort the entire season and still have it within 3 weeks, by the sounds of things, or within, what did they state? What? Let's actually use their phrases, right? Let's quote specifically. Catch-up specifics are still to be decided, but will function very similar to how the Narubar's Finery did. This is to say that there'll be a sliding scale where players further behind gain more reputation on kills, ensuring that they should rapidly approach parity with the global norm, likely in the span of a few weeks. I take few to mean 3. It could easily be 4, but the point still stands is that on a 20-week progression system, you could turn up on week 17 and probably get your Florendo at about the same time as everybody else. So I don't think it's really too much of an issue in that regard. Overall, I think it's a great idea. Feels like the team is terrified of the dinar system being present in a normal season, but I think it's something that's been needed for a while. I feel like 4 months is definitely too long to get your first one. Might even say there should be a total of 3. Regardless of that, 2 months feels like more appropriate point to receive your first dinar. Then you could continue on a monthly cadence after that for 3 or 4 months into the content patch. Making everybody wait 4 to 5 months to get 2 dinars seems pretty silly. Sure. Receive a puzzling cartel chip, which can be traded for a weapon trinket or otherwise special item from the Liberation of Undermine. This feels really bad. It would be okay if we had one around renowned 6 or 7. Please consider having these in a raid tier early on, like 6 or 7, and the second later on renowned 15. May also have renowned cap go from 1 a week to 2 after renowned 10. A lot of these comments are like the underlying theory, the underlying feelings to a bunch of these comments seem to be that people just don't like time gating, right? They don't like time gating, but they love getting free shit, and they want free shit sooner, and they don't want time gating, which is obviously all 90% of the feedback you'll get. I want all of the stuff, and I want it now, and I want no time gating. Promising system on the surface. I think 1 renown a week is too slow, especially with the raid skips requiring us to wait until week 6 to finally unlock it, which then won't be usable until week 7. Then currently we can finish them all, but mythics on week 3 and have them usable for week 4. Slowing down the pace of raid progression on difficulties below mythic in any way isn't going to play well, no matter how well intended the changes are. How does this slow down the pace of raid progression? You can do all of this on any difficulty. Edit, missed the part where the raid skip is difficulty agnostic. Oh, there we go. They corrected themselves. I really like that these are super late, since it conveys me that this is supposed to be BLP. What's BLP stand for? And not the primary way to acquire the items. Oh, bad luck protection. Yeah, okay. I like everything about this except the pacing of the time gating. I understand the time gating, however, I feel 2 renown a week is more appropriate. Also known as like 100% nerf. Fantastic feature that integrates raid skips, damage buffs. It's much better than previous systems. Glad to see this, hopes it becomes a mainstay. Puzzling cartel chip reward seems very late in the season to be of significant value. Around 17, it would be around 4 months before they're able to be used, which seems quite late to me. It might be worth swapping them with something like the counterfeit dealer's chip renown slots, since those are more long-term cosmetic rewards that will have longevity past the immediate season. Yeah, these catch-up chips, catch-up gear chips, people just, the fact that they're on the table means that people just want them ASAP. I'm clearly one of the very few people then that seems to think that they shouldn't be on the table at all in the season when the raid is the current raid. Something like this, I've always thought that this needs to be something that turns up after it's no longer the current raid for you to still be able to get the items, and catch up needs to come like later. I've always thought. I think it really deteriorates the value in progression, the value of progression, if catch-up kicks in too quickly. And having catch-up systems from literally day 1, when the content is still considered current, always feels awkward to me. I feel it's a grave injustice that the only Mecha Godzilla mount is available for players and not the Mecha Gorilla. This is a clear bias. Okay, sure. Alright, I think there's going to be an awful lot of comments pointing out the fact that they want free gear sooner. And they want the renown to be like less than 1 per week. But like I said, just run an LFR if you're really that bothered. Okay. Overall, I think it's an interesting... It's a system for the sake of having a system, but I think it's probably going to be quite elegant in its implementation. Albeit, I do worry just how much time and effort goes into putting something like this together, which could be, you know, funneled into like a whole extra raid tier by the time you've done this a few times in the expansion. But okay, cool. Got 3 million profit since I started with pet stuff so far. Thanks for the easy gold. Oh my god, 3 million pets. That's not easy gold. Good effort though, fair play. It's more like bad luck protection instead of catch up. Yeah, I suppose. They're correct. 90% of raiders will have completed the raid after 4 to 5 months. This is the thing for me, right? Because I don't engage too much in that in-game raiding, I don't have too much first-hand experience with it, which is why I'm totally accepting of people turning around and telling me I'm wrong. Because, like I said, it's very easy to have an opinion on something like this when you don't really do it. Like, I wouldn't... Why doesn't me sausage work? It's kind of like me telling people how arenas should go, you know? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, stay in your lane, you know? I get that concept. But for me, it's one of the things that I feel probably keeps me away from raiding a lot, is that it doesn't feel like, oh, there's a new season coming, I can put effort in this season. It seems to be solely designed around the fact that it doesn't matter when you want to do it, you can be equally as... You can gain equally as everybody else. I don't know. Right, let's level some more pets. People, they flipping out, jewel crafters out there, get these flipping amulet of earthen craftsmanship recipes. About 20 people today have wanted one of these. Admittedly, I'm on Draenor, a big realm, but it's clearly popular. If I wasn't tinkering in pet battles right now, I'd be standing crafting a bunch of those. I've lost 12 mil. How do I get it back? Yeah, embellish a little. Isn't that a baseline one? I don't know. But like. Ring of Earthen Craftsmanship, Amulet of Earthen Craftsmanship, like real high up on my list. Real high up on my list. In terms of requests. And as jewel crafters, it's like, what, 70 points-ish to get good at those. Right, I picked up this cookie to eat this cookie about an hour ago and I still haven't eaten it. I think if I can get a couple of hours of pet battles done today, I'll be happy. The fact that we seem to get like 15 to 20 done an hour is nice. It's not great, like when we need like 900 pets to be leveled, but it's good enough that it's worth doing today. And when it happens once every like 2 years, it feels silly not to spend some time getting some quick and easy pet leveling done today. Going and having a little bit of a look on the PTR might not be a terrible idea for tomorrow, though, I think. I think that will be tomorrow's plan. Maybe a bit more Plunderstorm, maybe a bit of PTR, if it's available. It was kind of sad to see that they're looking to do, like, an internal raid buff for consumables, though. Rather than adding actually new profession recipes in any way, shape or form. I do really think that Blizzard probably assumed that the profession system from 11.0 is still like to be completed by most, and so they might not be adding anything more, but hopefully they have something else up their sleeves. But that little tagline seems to scream that they have no real intentions of adding new consumables. At least not for this build. At least not for this season. We might see something in Season 3, but I worry that by Season 3 it's too late to start adding stuff like that. I don't know. Questions then. I should probably use smart technology and like put this to a vote, but like, does the new renown system incentivize you to start raiding in, or does it give you more of a reason to raid in Season 2? I guess that's the question I'm trying to ask here. I'm assuming some of you already raid, but for those who already raid, does it sound better? And for those that don't raid, does it give you the reason to maybe raid? Or are you completely makes no difference at all situation? No more than I already planned to. No difference at all. Just do my normal stuff. Killed by time gating again. I'll be raiding anyway, so you know. I'll only be doing the LFR for the mount. Streamlines several systems, like the skips, so I like it. Wrapping everything... one thing I would say about the Renown is that, yes, it does wrap everything up in a nice little box. From a user experience perspective, the fact that you can look at your renown track and see, right, oh, okay, it's deterministic. Next week I'll get this. The week after I can get that. And more importantly, this is what I can get. I guess in that regard, it is more simplistic for people to get on board with. You know, a one-stop shop sort of situation, rather than, oh, I need this currency and then I got to go to that vendor and then I've got to remember that this kicks in and I need to check that blog post and I need to check the, you know, it does wrap a bow around everything quite neatly and tidily, I guess. It's quite polished in that regard. That is definitely credit where credit's due. Two weeks of full clear for one renown is bonkers. You'll get one renown per week with half a clear. I think you've got your numbers wrong way round there. It's one renown for half a clear. There's 5,000 rep available in the raid. You only need 2,500 for your renown, but you're capped at one renown a week if you're keeping up with it. So 5,000 rep. 5,000 rep, we figured out that you can like kill some trash and do the last 3 bosses and you'll get the rep you need. If eventually you end up just doing the skip or you're doing boost run or something. If you're just doing the skip to like the last boss, because you can do it on any difficulty, just go run an LFR to get your rep for the week. Some tweets mixed it up. Oh, okay, is that what it is? Third-party info, Chinese whispers. Serious raiders makes no difference at all. Just some pets and mounts on the way. For casual raiders, pretty much the same. With a bit of help if they want to deep into the mythic raids, which they do not. People who are not interested in raids won't start raiding because of the system, though, in my opinion. I think I mostly agree with that. I don't think it's going to incentivize anybody particularly to start raiding if they're not already. But maybe it does just streamline the process for those who already do it. So in that regard, maybe it's just net neutral. If it takes a few systems that they've had in place, such as, you know, a ramping damage buff and this dinar system for, like, we'll call it bad luck protection, wrapping all of those up in a nice bow, portal to the raid, vendors in the area sort of thing. Wraps all of those up in a nice bow. Maybe there's really not anything to complain about. Gradual buffs will help the heroic to partial mythic clearing guilds. I mean, it caps out at an 18% buff.
How you doing?
Which I know 18% doesn't sound like a lot, but that, like, in terms of damage amp, throughput amp, is probably the equivalent of, like, almost an entire raid tier, right? 18% sounds like a small number, but when you scale that through the potential 20 players in your guild, that in your team, I think it's a pretty sizable buff by the end of it, which, yes, should help throughput. I think it's like an 18%. Was it just it was a damage and healing buff, wasn't it? So it's practically just pure throughput. So if the gear on your journey isn't enough, then have a near 20% damage buff. But by the time you have access to that 20% buff, like, realistically, how many people are still serious about progression? I don't know. I don't know quite how to package my feelings on this one, but like I said, for me personally, it's difficult because I don't particularly like the fact that there's any damage buff during the season. I'm not a fan of that from the word go. Did they change this encounter? Puzzle has always been last to me and Deeb's first. Deeb seems to come out first. Swaps puzzle in. I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't notice if they did change it, other than all of a sudden my team and my script had stopped working. Wow, that cookie was very tasty. Needed that. Small little sugar injection. Are you leveling for sale? Not really. I'm more leveling to make further pet battle stuff in the game easier. It is super squirt time, yeah. It's mostly just to make my overall pets just, you know, stronger. I do try and make sure I do all the pet battle world quests and achievements and that sort of stuff each expansion. And just having all of the pets at 25 as a bonus. Though, if you are looking to do this from a purely goal-making perspective, every cageable pet that you level from 1 to 25 can add 5 to 10,000 gold of a premium to it under normal circumstances. Yeah, we looked at some of the other strats earlier. I don't have the right breeds for a lot of the other ones that are a bit faster. This is still a minute 20. It's a minute 20 and it works. So much like my theory with farming, just do more of it. The time to optimize this setup is not today when the event is on. There's actually one that apparently levels 2 pets at once. Woo, you might be more up to speed with this one. If you get a what was it? It was the little hand thing, claw thing or something. Apparently that can solo if you get the right breed on it and can level 2 pets at once. But my question is, if you level 2 pets at once, does it split the XP between them, or do they both gain the same XP? Oh, it does split the XP. Oh, so well, in that case, then it's not really. It would then take you 4 battles, and they'd both hit 25 at the same time, I guess, right? Unless would you do it in 3? Would you do it in 3 because you kind of overcap the pets doing it this way a little bit? Would it maybe cut it down to 3? 3 to get 2 pets leveled, which would be obviously slightly more efficient. I'm not sure. It would have to be right on the money for that to be a thing. Might work if you had both the pet treats and the hat, maybe. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, use a big boy pet treat and the hat. Because then you'd overcap where you would normally overcap a single pet. Maybe the XP would be when it's shared. I don't know. There's some maths in that for sure. Does this event give you anything unique? No, it's just one of the most efficient ways in the game to level up your pets. And the fact that you can, as you can see, like literally barely move. I say one of in before Woo tells me about other opportunities, but like it's, you know, it's considered one of the easiest. But it only happens like twice a year. So because it happens so infrequently, I feel obliged to at least spend a little bit of a time on the days when it is up. Pet charms is the thing I'm seriously lacking though. Mostly my Shadowlands mission table stockpile has now mostly depleted. Key advantage with this one is the lack of the requirement for the bandages. Yeah, because you got the dude right next to you that just heals everything up. What's the add-on's name where it displays the pet value when you hover over them in the pet tab? You need it's the rematch add-on, but rematch TSM plugin or something. It's called. I think by default it shows the market value of the pet. Is it literally just called rematch TSM pet values? There we go. So yeah, you can see that it'll show. Oh no, wrong button. Here, where you've got the values of the pets. I think this is server specific and then region wide are the two prices here. So, considering I'm on a monster of a server, you'll probably find the local prices are probably a lot less than the regional average on a lot of the pets. Can we filter? No, not filter. Sort by value? Maybe there isn't a way to do that. Because it's a plugin. Oh, rematch TSM pet values. Sort by first price source. Sort by second price source. It's the regional price. So here we can see, technically, the most valuable pet in the game is an ethereal soul trader, which has a market value of 711,000 gold right now. Holy, I've got 2 of those. Short-lived followed up by Night Saber's Cub. The Phoenix Wishwing, is this still just stupid expensive because it's a pain in the ass to get the thing? And when you get the thing, are you limited to only 1 per account? Technically, the promo pets cost a lot more. Oh, I'm referring to the ones that are more readily available that can be put in the auction house. Yeah. Farming the Ash or whatever it is. Is it a once per character thing, the Phoenix Wishwing, or is it a once per account one? Because this value is bonkers, by the way. Spectral Tiger still nearly 500,000. Egregious Grell 379. Guardian Cubs. Why have I not got a Guardian Cub? Wasn't the Guardian Cub a store pet at one point? Wasn't it 20 bucks in the store at once upon a time? I don't know why I don't have a Guardian Cub. Anyway, there's some still pretty expensive pets out there. Ha! Flawless Amethyst Bauble. This is a pet I forgot existed. Still 200k regional price. $200k for what was it? 10,000. Was it 10,000 polished pet charms? These were selling. These had a regional price of about 80k by the end of Shadowlands, I think. They would dip under 100k quite frequently, I think. Now the regional market average is over 200. The likelihood of them selling is slim, though. I wonder if this price has got anything to do with the video that I made about them, where I basically said it's worth roughly the same amount as the toy that's 250k. So, surprise, surprise. GoldenEye costs a lot and should actually be farmable now, 2 expansions later. GoldenEye, yeah, I don't have one of these. Yeah, if I was to cash out and ever sell out all of my pets, these are obviously just the pets I've learnt as well. I've got tens of millions of gold in pets. Scout, we don't have Scout. Scout's a 5,000 pet charm pooch, isn't he? And then we start to have most of them under 100k. Few are missing. Alarm dog. Where did this come from? I don't even recognise that dude. Proper parrot. Is it Pirate Week? Can you get this again? It's Siren Isle pet, isn't it? The proper parrot. Anyway, let's level the pets, not gawk at them. Siren Isle, yeah. That'll be one that might hold its value quite a lot, I think. For if it takes quite some effort to get it, and it can only be done once every 3 weeks, that's usually a good combination for holding its value. Assuming it's then any good at anything, maybe. Right, 36 minutes on my sausage. I clearly haven't been very optimal with my time this hour. Whoops. But something's better than nothing. It was super fun to farm for. Took most of the day. The parrot thing. Is it just a... How'd you get it? Is it just a rare version of the parrot that spawns only on the isle that week, right? Oh, it's just a random drop from rare or elites. Oh, really? Okay. So it's not even pet battle related then. I mean, that's definitely one that'll hold its value then. Look at some of the ones from the Timeless Isle from way back in the day. That like were just a bit of a pain in the ass to farm. What's his name? Gulp Frog dude? That'll really showcase what its sort of long-term value will be. Worth to farm? You'd argue probably not. But if you see one listed at like 50k, you know it's probably heavily undervalued based upon how long it would take somebody to go and get one themselves. Don't you have the safari hat? No need for the sausage? No, we had this discussion earlier. I am not very well protecting my head.
Hey there.
I'm slacking in the hat department. I can't remember what you need to do to get it these days. Taming the world? Yeah, that already sounds like a big achievement that I probably haven't done half of. Was added in patch 5.0. There's not really much of an excuse for not doing it by this point, is there really? But six expansions on, I still haven't bothered. I think if you get 6 expansions past its introduction, there's a strong chance you might never do it. .5.0, was that Mr. Pandaria? Can't remember. Wasn't it Taming the World? Not Taming the Wild. Taming the Great Outdoors. Taming Outland, taming Northrend, taming Azeroth. Oh, is it considered a feat of strength? Is that why I can't search for it? Yeah, I can't find it. The fact that I haven't done any of these is clear indication to why I don't have it. Starts with taming the wild, great outdoors, and then so on and so on. Yeah. How many pets have I done? I don't know. It takes about 4 minutes. A little under 4 minutes per pet. 2 minutes 40 is the exact time it probably should take per pet, but probably less than 3 minutes per pet. About 20 an hour you can do with Super Squirt, I think. You defeat the master pet tamers to get it. One day we'll just do a world tour and we'll just do it one day, just smash it out. Defeat the 40 master pet tamers on the Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, Outland, Northrend, or Pandaria. Yeah, considering it was added in 5 point something, it shouldn't actually have that strong of a requirement, should it? Yeah, maybe one day we just bang it out. I should have done it yesterday. Yesterday would have been the best time to do it, although we spent all day doing Plunderstorm. So, World Tour with the Elk plushie. That's another one that's on the cards. It's in the deck, but it's quite low down. If I'm brutally honest, most of the time I tend to treat pet battles as just some easy achievement points. Excuse me. I'm not super invested in pet battles. The goblin in me has always... there's another Amulet of the Earthen Craftsmanship, by the way. Look, those things are popping off today. The goblin in me sees the potential value in trading and distributing pets, but like the battle side of things it's kind of Pokemon-esque, but if I wanted to play Pokemon, I'd go play Pokemon. Or Palworld, to be fair. We had fun playing Palworld. There's another game we should maybe go back and have a look at, you know. Palworld's had some levels up recently. They've probably... I wonder if Palworld have added a bunch of extra systems to make, like, the reason to collect the pals better. They had the towers to defeat, and you could get to level 50, but then you very quickly ran out of stuff to do, I remember. I didn't push too far into the end game of Palworld. I've seen a lot of people on the platform playing Palworld lately. Yeah, I think they've just had a reasonably big update, which will attract a bunch of people. Not doing plundering today. There'll be a bit of time probably for plundering. We plundered all day yesterday though. Plunderstorm's around for a while, so it's a priority thing really. Super Squirt's only here today, so it makes a lot of sense to prioritise some Super Squirt today. It's weird. I don't feel... I kind of feel like the stream is more interesting and more interactive doing even silly pet battle stuff like this than when I'm doing Plunderstorm. Mostly because if I'm playing Plunderstorm, I have to focus on what I'm doing.
Innkeeper of Moonglade says,
oh, I'm just dead.
Hey Stanley, what's Super Squirt Day?
Oh, does Stanley know?
Super Squirt Day be a grand opportunity in World of Warcraft for pet battlers to level their pets quickly. Me hearty. Good luck with your gold making.
Stanley knows. Stanley knows. Saved. Yeah, I had my finger on the shut up button there. Just in case Stanley goes off-piste. Stanley must have safe search on. Yeah. Yeah, yesterday I noticed doing Plunderstorm, I had to like hardcore tunnel vision playing Plunderstorm. Admittedly, and quite for obvious reasons, the chat was very quiet yesterday. Most of you were either playing Plunderstorm yourself or partly lurking for Twitch drops. So I understand, and more importantly than anything else, my ability to respond to chat yesterday was poor. Because, laser focus on not dying. Even though we're just messing around in the garrison, I feel as if I can actually, chat with you guys. And I feel that, what's in this little box from a discussion perspective. And I know for the fact that lots of people use my stream as like a bit of a podcast in the background anyway. Rather than what's going on, over here. Me hearty. Sounds like... How do you do, fellow kids? My playtime expires in 30 minutes. That's embarrassing. Stanley's been trained to embrace the pirate theme at the moment, so... He might call you landlubbers or some other pirate lingo. There's part of me that wonders if I just buy... I said this last month. Do I just bite the bullet and buy that flipping 12-month sub and then just, not let it lapse? We like our daily Ranthius in the background. I try to keep Ranthius under wraps as much as possible, but sometimes he does slip out.
Sylvanassimp says, which horde race should I go when I faction change in WoW? Try I be spoiled for choice, me friend. Whether ye be a fierce orc, crafty undead, or noble tauren, choose the horde race that suits your playstyle best. Good luck with your gold making.
Standard sit on the fence answer there from Stan. Love that. Did he say crafty undead? I think he did call the undead crafty. Skinny? Wouldn't necessarily say too crafty. A politician in the making, absolutely. What you don't know is Stanley's middle name is Donald. Stanley doesn't have a surname, though. Stanley's like Ronaldo. Doesn't need surnames. He stands above everybody. He doesn't need surnames.
Charges says, Stanley, please sing to us your fav sea shanty about gold making.
Does he know any sea shanties?
Ho, 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 me hearties. Singing a shanty about gold making. Shiver me timbers, load the loot with Twitch Prime you can't refute. Good luck in your gold endeavours.
It works. he even slipped in a Twitch Prime plug there. Love it. Good old Stan. Told you before, swipe the credit card once for 12 months, then you can continue the sub using gold. Still eligible for the future 12-month sub mounts and pets as long as the gold sub doesn't stop. Yeah, I'm aware of this little loophole in the system, but it still means that I have to give Blizzard money, which is something I haven't done in, like, when did the token come out? 2016, so like 7 years or something, 8 years. And I don't historically buy the store mounts anyway, so it's not really any skin off my back to give Blizzard money when I don't need to. Until my gold quantity says 0, I'm not totally convinced I need to give them any money. Because believe it or not, even being a WoW partner doesn't get you a free sub to the game. I've never used an add-on called Pet Battle Scripts and imported a script from my rematch team. Should it be fine for Blizzard? Oh yeah, yeah. This is all perfectly above board. It's basically a fancy macro. It's in essence how it works. UPS is amazing. Started off by saying between 1 and 5. Then 10 past 10 to 10 past 12, and now it's flagged as end of day. It is in a van somewhere. That's literally it. Ring of Earthen Craftsmanship, another one. I'm telling you, if I was standing around in the capital city right now, I could be crafting a whole bunch of stuff for people. I, in theory, could and should, to be honest. Oh, it's the same dude. He still hasn't got his from earlier. Oh, well, should we just get it made for him? If he sends me an order, I'll do it. I'm only 2 Hearthstones away from crafting it for him. It's fine. Imagine that they added a mount with the portable crafting tables. I have a better solution. Get rid of crafting tables. There's my better solution. What was I saying earlier about make a problem so they can sell a solution? I'd happily get rid of crafting tables in a heartbeat. Bruto through 3.0, yeah. For the low, low price of $99.99. I was kind of hoping the War Within would remove them due to negative feedback, but no. Yeah, goblins clearly didn't shout loud enough about them. The only slight saving grace, to give credit where credit's due, is at least we haven't got a crafting table, specific crafting table stowed away at the back of a flipping dungeon anymore. That was double level gross. Well, that dude hasn't put in an order for this ring. He's been screaming in trade chat for over 10 minutes. Maybe somebody else got to him. What does this button do? That button should have made Stanley tell a joke. Did Stanley not tell a joke? Why did it not do? Or did it do and I just didn't hear it? It's in essence meant to be a text-to-speech. I'm not sure why it didn't work. Events, channel points. Oh God, you can put everything up there. Okay. Well, it absolutely should have done something. Why it didn't do something, I'm not sure. I will refund you your points because I'm not sure why that didn't do its thing. The Bruto was stupid cheap. 6 tokens done. It was well, I mean, when you do the maths on it, considering it was 5 million gold from a vendor, which back in BFA 5 million gold was arguably worth more than it is now. 5 million gold back in BFA is kind of more like having gold cap these days.
How you doing?
And so 6 tokens, even at EU prices, was not much more than what, like, let's say 400k, 2.4 mil. Less than half the actual liquid gold value that the Bruto was even in BFA. Before you take into consideration we're like a bunch of expansions further on now. It was, like, dare I say it, stupid cheap. But then again, they FOMO'd the shit out of it by getting rid of it a few weeks later. Kind of like they did the Bruto in the first place. God, it'd be good to find out the numbers on that though, wouldn't it? To find out just how much they actually made off selling that thing. Because, you know, back in the day when they launched the first Spectral Pony, and that was like $15, and fucking everybody was running around on that thing. But now they launch a mount for like $90, and still everybody was running around on that thing. It's like, whew. They probably made enough. I suspect they probably made enough money off the Longboy to counteract the negative launch of Diablo. That's Diablo 4, that is. Any shortcomings they might have made by the launch of Diablo being an absolute shit show. I mean, it clearly, Diablo, let's not forget, Diablo sold a bunch of copies anyway. But I reckon, in the grand scheme of things, the Longboy 2.0 probably generated as much profit. Because let's not forget, it was a $90 mount that is fundamentally 100% profit, right? Whereas at least Diablo had to recuperate development costs. I reckon that one mount probably made tens of millions at least. How long was the OG Longboy available? For the whole of BFA? For most of BFA. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it disappeared a little bit before the end of the expansion. I think. I can't quite remember. It was a while ago. Did it go in the pre-patch, did it? I can't quite remember exactly. All I know is there was a little bit of a crossover period because I remember that it went away. It went away almost at the exact same time I chose to upgrade all of my accounts with my gold to Shadowlands. I upgraded, like this is the story. Many of you will have already heard this, but this is the reason I don't have the OG Longboy. It wasn't that I didn't have the gold in BFA. It was that I actively chose to spend the gold I had on upgrading 8 of my accounts to Shadowlands using gold. And my theory is that having 8 Shadowlands accounts would slingshot my ability to make gold, so that I'd just buy it off the black market auction house. Now, Shadowlands did, yes, exactly slingshot my ability to make gold, but it wasn't anything to do with the fact that I had 8 accounts. It was for an entirely different reason, known as base legendary items. But that goes into a different story. So, like, I chose not to buy the Longboy in BFA for that reason, that I wanted 8 accounts with Shadowlands on, and I paid for them all with gold, which meant I then didn't have enough to buy the Longboy. It was actually the multi-box changes that then fucked me over, because the reason I wanted 8 Shadowlands accounts was I was going to have 8 hunters that were going to run through and do everything, and every hunter was going to have a separate legendary crafting profession, and it was going to multiply the speed in which I could craft shit. That was the theory. It didn't actually turn out that way, but by the time I got a refund on some of the accounts to get some of the gold back, because I very quickly realised I didn't need 8. Didn't need 8 Shadowlands accounts anymore. It was already too late to then use that gold to buy the Longboy, because it had already gone. So I kind of screwed myself with that one. According to data for Azeroth, 12% of the player base has the Bruto. What, the OG one or the new one? Newer one, I should say. It's not really new anymore, is it? Because it's no longer available again. Right, 10 minutes on me sausage. Oh, the new one. So 12% of the player base has the new one. Now 12%... Icy Veins suggested that it was about 5.6-ish of the player base, and that amounted to about $23 million. 4% has the old one. So it's 12% now. Now you got to remember that data for Azeroth probably is only like that 5.6, sorry, where was it? That 12% on data for Azeroth is going to be 12% of the players that it knows about. Icy Veins is, you got to remember, estimation of the player base is just that, it's an estimation. Blizzard doesn't tell us these numbers, so how data for Azeroth and how Icy Veins guesstimated the player base numbers could be very different. But the amount of them I see rocking about, I'd have said it's higher than both 5 or 12%, honestly. I don't believe only 1 in 10 people have that mount. The amount of people I saw chasing after it before Christmas, and the amount of people you see dancing around with it, it's pretty wild. Algari competitors signet. What the hell's going on? Somebody's looking for the Algari competitors signet at quality 5. Buy it off the auction house. Odd. Odd. I mean, I guess they want. I'll get a first-time craft bonus out of it, if nothing else. I'll wait until I see the little order thing come through. Somebody probably wants it with a flipping embellishment and a doodah and stuff all on it. Specific stats. Didn't buy the first auction house mount because I thought that from now on, BFA, every expansion, we're going to get an auction house mount. To be fair, it wasn't a terrible assumption. You know, it would have made sense that, oh, well, if this one is going away, it's because they're going to release a new one next time, sort of thing. It wasn't a terrible assumption. Just wanted it with very specific stats on. At 610. Well, there you go. Can I make the amulet? Yes. In Shadowlands, do they not have an auction house in the main city? In Oribos, there was, but it was only for engineers. So you'd have long boys standing next to the mailbox. Which almost added insult to injury for a lot of people. People chasing my long boy with desperation. Come back! I was using that. Yeah, literally. No resource procs. Never lucky. Never lucky. Back to the garrison, quick. Oh, I've only got 3 minutes on my sausage. Maybe we'll do some more garrison stuff later. We'll do a little bit more garrison stuff later. Close that down. I might do a plunder storm, you know. Let's see if I can get back into the swing of things. A couple of plunder storms for the end of the stream today. I've got some extracurricular activities I need to be doing this afternoon, which is going to keep me from streaming too long today. But I think we'll get a couple of plunder storms on the go. And we'll... I'll do some more... I'll have the ability to mash the space bar for a few hours later this evening. Stopped and kicked off the auctioneer. That's just mean. That's mean. Real mean. Funny though. Only played Shadowlands in Season 4, which I gather was the best time to play it outside of release. Well, oh dear, hang on. Shit, my playtime's about to expire. Quick, buy token. Token's less than 300k yet. It's never going to happen, is it? Hello, game. 386k. Oh, I'm about to get fisted. No lube. No lube situation right here. $386k. Outrageous. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Hello? Game, I'm on the clock here. I'm on the clock. Right. We're 1 minute short. We're 1 minute to go. You've actually got to log out, log in again for it to work anyway. Let's try again. Oh, wait. Why is OpenAI broken? Why is... Oh, Stanley's broken again. Censored automatically. Not technically. He did actually respond to you, but for some reason he didn't read it out. Because OpenAI is being a dick. He actually responded with a no lube situation be when you're finding yourself in a tight spot without any help, like trying to sail the high seas with a hole in your ship. Was his response. I don't know why he didn't read it out though. Oh, don't tell me Stanley's run out of credits again. I upgraded his credits the other day. Now OpenAI wants more money off me. This Stanley business is getting expensive. Log in. I hope it's a welcome back situation. Oh, Jesus. Did I sign in with Google? I think I signed in with Google. Let's assume I signed in with Google. Dashboard. API keys. Why does it usage? Usage. Why is it not loading? There's no reason it shouldn't have stopped working. No reason it shouldn't have stopped working. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, okay, there's no reason it shouldn't have stopped working. Stanley's expensive. Not really. Not really. Like, probably no more than 25-ish bucks a month. I don't know. I'll tell you after we've used him for a month. Then I'll get the bill. You should be fine. Right, now we can do some Plunderstorm. The OpenAI ChatGPT usage has only cost me about €4. I don't know why it's stopped working though. It's the Elvin Labs. It's his fancy voice that actually is expensive. That's about 20 bucks a month. Stanley, do you know you're powered by AI, or are you oblivious to this fact?
Ah, matey, me existence be a mystery shrouded in code and algorithms, much like trying to find buried treasure without a map. Onward to adventure.
That would be a no then. Sentience has not reached our Stan. Right, Plunderstorm. Now you're going to work. We've got game time again. Microsoft made a mistake. They thought they can get your money via Blizzard, but instead they get your money via OpenAI. Well, yeah, clearly. Right. Can we get a cheeky little win for the end of the stream today? What do we think? Did we see? Did we see? Anyone see the random shit with Elon tweeting private info on Asmon's editors? Sorry, I hate streamer drama, but what the hell? I mean, I can believe it. I haven't seen it, no, but I can believe it. On Cat Danny or Daily Dose of Asmongold? We're being stream sniped. We're being stream sniped. I'm joking. Yeah, I tell you what, the internet is absolutely desperate for some juice, isn't it, right now? I mean, look how many people jumped on that pirate software thing. Flipping hell. What an absolute clusterfuck of crazy that is. People get way too passionate about this sort of stuff. This is why, for the most part, I try to keep politics to an absolute minimum. Oh god, there's 3 people over there. I think the less politics in streaming, the better, to be honest. I think my theory on this goes that most people are trying to watch streams and play video games to get away from all of this bullshit. But some people are so thirsty for drama, it's borderline scary. Did he not take a single hit off all of that? Damn. Oh well. Now you're down. Level 4. Now there was 3 people that spawned next to me. I'm surprised none of them came this way. Oh, I'll have Searing Axe though. That's a swap instant. Oh my god, what's going on here? What's going on here? Somebody left that on the ground? No way somebody left that on the ground. Pog farming mode. Some WoW hardcore thing, who cares? Surprise, surprise, somebody playing hardcore looked out for themselves to not get their character killed. Shock horror. Shock horror, somebody in a streamer guild, like, drama in a streamer guild? You shitting me? You know, it's like, hello? Who would have thought? This is the problem, right? Some people can't seem to detract from the fact that this is predominantly entertainment. It was a bit wild. I don't need to share many opinions on it because I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't have any. My only opinion is that people that get that sort of that kind of engrossed in that sort of stuff need to remember that it's just a video game. Elon getting kicked from a streamer guild. No, this was the Pirate Software shenanigans. Pirate Software was catching heat because he had a lapse in playing his mage to a rank 1 level on a hardcore character in a dungeon. Surprise, surprise, somebody playing hardcore didn't want their character to die. And so given the opportunity to not die, took it. His, like many things on the internet, his response didn't help his situation out. But arguably the whole thing is more about how he responded to the situation than the situation itself, which is kind of funny in its own sense. Chickens got destroyed. And then Elon, like, stupid flipping, claiming he had his hardcore Path of Exile character at like level 97, and then streamed it and basically didn't know how to play the game, which was that was just funny. Why is one of the world's richest players seeking gratification from internet gamers by cheating in a video game? Like, it makes no sense. That's epic aura of zealotry. This dude clearly wants it. He's playing it well, you know, with his flipping... He's got Smackerel, and that might be the death of me. His Smackerel, you know. Maybe I don't want in this duel. Maybe I don't get a chance to not be in this duel. He played Smackerel as you're meant to play Smackerel. He also was the guy at the beginning that said, "Love your streams, mate." So if you're listening, fuck you in the nicest possible way. We go again. It's fine. He played Smackerel well. Didn't snipe, you came to me. That's kind of true, yeah. I'm only joking. I did get outsmacked there. He played fish properly. Played Plunderstorm for the first time yesterday. Did not play the first one. Farmed enough plunder to buy the mounts, the toys, the pets, and the traders currency all in a day. Yeah, you can get like plunder really fast. I think I ended up with like, I don't even know. You can't see achievements and stuff in here, can you? Oh, oh, okay. I'm capped and it doesn't show, like, global total. Yeah, I think I played a reasonable amount yesterday and probably made about 75,000 plunder or something. Without, like, I think I won 2 games of solo and we won 1 duos. Look at the chickens! Are people deliberately just vendoring and popping all the chickens? Oh, this is hysterical. Are people just mass buying the chickens? Oh, I figured out what people are doing now. That's genius. Look at all them chickens. Oh, did I select? I didn't select that. What's going on? Wait, hang on. How am I grouped up with somebody? Did I queue duos? Either I queued duos or did some... What's going on here? Okay, I'm joined up with somebody. I don't know how that happened. We're going down here then. 3 epic chests down here.
Remember, don't die.
Forget the supply chest. Supply chests are stinky. You get more coins from duos? I don't even know. You might do. Ooh. Big old lightning shield. Oh, hello. Oh, did you not want to play? Aw, but I wanted to play. I'm going to chase you till the end of days. Good ploy. Good ploy. Well, we've officially separated from his friend. Chasing is pointless. We're not getting anywhere. Unless an horse. An horse! Can we catch him on an horse? Where'd he go? He's only going to run into more problems. I should have used that to run away. I have no idea how I got into a duos match in the first place. No idea. Yeah, this is kind of why Plunderstorm is fun, but it's probably something I'll play off stream because I have to like hardcore tunnel vision more than I like to do. But boys and girls, we're approaching the 4-hour mark of the stream today. I'm getting hungry. I've got some stuff I need to do this afternoon, so I'm probably going to leave it there. Tomorrow, there's a good chance we'll have a little poke around on the PTR, since I would suspect by then the PTR will be back up again, and we'll be able to go and test some stuff. There's been some, a little bit of preliminary data mining and whatever. We can dive into that in a little bit more detail tomorrow. If you're out doing some plundering, enjoy it, have fun, don't stress. It takes basically no more than a few hours, even in a basic way, to get the plunder. If you're only after the rewards, don't stress, it's easy peasy. But yeah, have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day, and come say hi on the Discord, and I'll catch you all next time. Have a good one. Peace.